Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives.
Yes, good morning and welcome to a new week, a new day in a new week, in a new month. Wonderful thing to be part of. My name is Henry Uzo and I'm welcoming you to Morning Dew on Dott Television. We're going to take you through our usual passage, news from the papers. We do analysis and, of course, have some conversation. My name is Henry Uzo and, of course, Success is in the studio.
Good morning. Welcome to a Money Making Monday in a new week and a new month. So exciting to be alive this morning. And welcome to Morning Dew on Dott Television, where we bring you topical stories and news headlines making waves around the globe. I am Success Benjamin and Ify is in the studio.
I am Ify Arono, and it is great to be here on the 3rd of August, 2026. Today is a big day in Delta State because they're at the Dome Event Center. Something big is happening. It's the Delta Economic and Investment Summit. We're ready for it, starting at 10 a.m. this morning. Welcome to Morning Dew. We'll take you through all the highlights emerging from the Economic and Investment Summit. So stay put. Do not change your dial from Dott Television today. We have you covered.
All right, because talking about that Economic and Investment Summit, some big fishes are already arriving in the shores of Delta.
Delta is the destination.
We are aware that Okonjo-Iweala, our own dear daughter, is going to be around, or is already around.
She's around already.
And of course, some investors from Brazil are already in the state. The state is going to bubble beginning. And of course, Dott TV, our engineers are working on the clock to ensure that we give you live coverage of the event.
We're on standby already.
Okay.
Yes, the plans are on.
Then, of course, we thank God, though. Yesterday, the rain that fell in Asaba. I don't know where you were. Where did you spend your weekend?
I was in Anambra.
Okay.
And it was the very same story.
Were you in Asaba?
It was whoop.
Were you in Asaba?
I was just screaming. I couldn't come out.
Starting from about
I don't think you'd have been able to come to work yesterday. No, it started the day before. Heavy rain poured in the evening of.
Perhaps I slept earlier.
Okay, you enjoyed
the day before. I think that rain started at about that was Saturday night.
Yes.
It started at about 8
p.m. Yeah, that's
8
right.
p.m.
And it was off and on.
It was good that
continued.
it rained, but it's just that sometimes movement will be very. So we thank God for today.
And it's clearing the air for the Delta State Economic Investment.
Is rain of blessings now.
Yeah, and everywhere you look in Delta, from Summit Road to Cabinet Road, you will find these, the publicity material well strategically located. We're seeing the faces of all our speakers.
Okay.
Yes, so the anticipation is high.
Yeah.
Everyone in Delta knows that something is happening.
We are all part of it. And of course, viewers, stand by. When we come back, we give you the news updates. And of course, Success is with all the stories. Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives.
Yes, welcome to News Updates on Morning Dew. But first, we begin with stories happening in Delta State, and we're talking about the Delta State Economic and Investment Summit. The Director General of the World Trade Organization, WTO, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, has arrived in Delta State ahead of the 2026 Delta State Economic and Investment Summit. Dr. Okonjo-Iweala arrived at the airport on Sunday, August 2nd, where she was received by the Chief of Staff to the Delta State Governor, Chief Johnson Irijo, on behalf of Governor Sheriff Fuburiwari. The Delta State Economic and Investment Summit is scheduled to hold from Wednesday. It is expected to bring together key speakers international investors, business leaders, policy and development partners from across the world. With growing global interest in sectors such as agriculture, the blue economy, energy, manufacturing, and other high potentials for industries, the summit is designed to showcase the data's investment opportunities and strengthening partnerships that will drive sustainable economic growth. Meanwhile, the special advisor to the governor on finance, investment, and international development, Barrister George Orogun, says the summit represents a significant step towards converting international interest into long-term investments that will benefit the state. Earlier, Governor Sheriff Oboriwori personally received Brazilian economist and international business consultant Roberto Ginanti da Fonseca at the Osubi Airport in Warri. Da Fonseca arrived on Saturday, August 1st, ahead of the Economic and Investment Summit. Meanwhile, other investors are still arriving in the state. Now, still on Delta State, the Delta State Governor, Right Honorable Sheriff Oboriwori, has announced a comprehensive support package for 86 Delta indigenes who recently returned from South Africa following xenophobic attacks. The package was unveiled during a reception held at the Unity Hall, Government House, Asaba, where the governor was represented by his Chief of Staff, Honorable Johnson Erijo. Speaking on behalf of the governor, Erijo said each affected family would receive 2 million naira to help them restart their lives, while individuals would receive a monthly stipend of 200,000 naira. Those with families are expected to receive 300,000 naira beginning from August 2026 until the end of the governor's first term in office. He also announced that the returnees would benefit from free medical screening at state-owned hospitals, as well as trauma counseling through the Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Services. According to the governor, the intervention is aimed at helping the victims recover after losing their homes, businesses, and means of livelihood during the attack. Governor Oboriwori, through his representative, welcomes the returnees back home, describing the attacks as unfortunate and unacceptable. He said that no one should be subjected to violence, displacement, or fear because of their nationality, reaffirming the Delta State government's commitment to welfare, safety, and dignity of its citizens wherever they may be. Now, the All Progressive Congress APC House of Representatives candidate for the Okbe, Saple, and Uwie Federal Constituency, Chief Ramsey Tega Onoyake, FPA, has joined party leaders, stakeholders, and supporters at the Renewed Hope More Agenda Stakeholders meeting in Uwie. The gathering focused on strengthening grassroots mobilization, promoting unity among party members, and reaffirming support for the Renewed Hope and More agenda as frameworks for sustainable development. Speaking at the meeting, Honorable Onoyeke stressed the importance of working together to build a stronger constituency and reaffirmed his commitment to providing quality representation, effective leadership, and people-centered legislation for the Okbe, Saple, and Uwie Federal Constituency. The meeting also highlighted the party's resolve to strengthen its grassroots structure, maintain unity, and prepare for the future.
If you not eat yam because of oil, you eat oil because of yam.
Party members expressed confidence in Onoyake's leadership, describing him as a dedicated and accessible leader committed to the growth of development of the constituency. Now on the Murtala Mohammed Airport, the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria, FAN, has dismissed reports of a fire outbreak that occurred on Sunday at Terminal 2 of the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Ikeja, Lagos, clarifying that no casualties were recorded. FAN explained that preliminary findings indicate the smoke observed within the terminal was caused by the discharge of the building's FM200 fire suppression system and not an actual fire outbreak. In a statement posted on its official X account, the authority confirmed that its aerodrome, rescue and firefighting service responded immediately to the incident and swiftly moved to assess and contain the situation. According to FAN, firefighting and emergency personnel were deployed to the affected area as a precautionary measure to ensure the safety of passengers, airport staff, and other users of the facility, while also preventing any potential escalation. The authority assured the public that there was no loss of life and reiterated that all necessary safety protocols were activated promptly. FAN further appealed for calm, assuring travelers that efforts were ongoing to minimize any disruption to airport operations while investigations and assessments continued. It added that further updates would be provided as more information becomes available. Meanwhile, normal activities have resumed at the terminal, with passengers being processed for check-in and flight operations running according to schedule. Now on the foreign scene, the United States has condemned the July 27 attack on a community in Kaduna State that claimed the lives of at least 30 people, including children. The U.S. Bureau of African Affairs, in a statement posted on its official X account, describes the incident as another tragic development in the region's prolonged security crisis. The Bureau called on President Bola Tinubu's administration to intensify efforts to tackle the persistent killings, kidnappings, and attack on vulnerable communities across Nigeria's Middle Belt. It also expressed sympathy to families who lost loved ones in the attack and renewed its call for stronger measures to protect communities affected by violence. The statement added that the United States extends its condolences to the bereaved families and urged the Nigerian government to address the ongoing violence against Christian communities in the Middle Belt. It also called for those responsible for the attack on innocent civilians to be identified, prosecuted, and held accountable. We wrap it here for news updates. Stay with us on Morning Dew as we return with much more insightful discussions after this break. Don't go away.
Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives.
The Delta State government invites business leaders, global investors, policymakers, and industry captains to the Delta State Economic and Investment Summit 2026, themed Harnessing Our Strengths and Unlocking Our Potentials. Chief guest of honor, the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Senator Kashim Shettima, GCON. Keynote speaker, Director General of the World Trade Organization, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, GCON. Guest speaker, renowned scholar, Professor Patrick Lumumba, chairman of the occasion, Engineer Austin Avuru. Other distinguished local and international participants will also be in attendance. Date August 3 to 5, 2026. Time 10 a.m. daily. Venue Dome Event Center, Asaba. Chief host His Excellency Right Honorable Sheriff Obrewori, Governor Delta State. Announcer Dr. Kingsley Emu, Secretary to Delta State Government and Chairman Planning Committee.
Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives.
Yes, welcome back. And of course, we are going straight to what the papers are saying today. We're starting with Daily Trusts. And on Daily Trust, we have bandits kill 8 family members, 4 others in Sokoto. Abuja infrastructure boom pushes up rents. Daily Trust economics to FG. Convert gains to structural transformation. Then the banner headline, 2027, fresh debate over Tinubu's qualification. And then there's a quote there. If you want to upload somebody's qualifications, you start from primary school, then secondary school, and then university. You don't jump from primary school to university. That gives room for suspicion, especially for a president that has been dogged by academic controversies. All that in the Daily Trust. And of course, we have flood displaces families, destroys houses in Yobe. Nigeria finishes 7th, meets Glasgow 2026 medal targets. And of course, recapitalization. NICOM clears for the 3 insurance firms. Finally, woman murdered over alleged witchcraft in Bauchi.
Now, moving on to The Guardian, we have Nigeria in $15 billion flood loses as experts see wider insurance coverage. Oye warns of FX market vulnerability, high SMEs mortality. Then the topical story there, 10 insurers risk liquidation as 43 scale recapitalization hurdle. And that's it for The Guardian.
Let's move to the Punch. And beside the masthead this morning, despite billions spent of 6,500 PHCs, that's primary healthcare centers, still non-functional. We have this major headline on the Punch. Abandoned projects, federal government bars ministries from awarding unfunded contracts. The riders are Treasury tightens rules to curb abandoned projects, unpaid liabilities, fiscal discipline. MDA's accounting officers face ICPC action for approving unfunded projects. BPP to reject no objection requests without proof of available funds. I believe that this is trailing the phony agency matter. Still on the Punch, Power Tussle rocks Obi Kwankwaso campaign teams. Nigeria earns 24 trillion naira from crude exports in 6 months. Fake agency scandal is still in the news. Controversial DG fights back, fingers more MDAs. Speeding driver killed in Lagos road crash. Topical stories on the Punch this morning.
Now let's take a look at the Vanguard this morning. And above the masthead, we have NICAM completes capitalization, clears 43 insurance. Presidency slams Atiku over criticism of FG's economic policies. Dangote Shinoma signed $80 million MOU to expand Itori cement plant capacity to 12 MTPA. Now, the major story there, 10 trillion naira investment in 13 years failed to lift power supply. We are resettling the sector, Power Minister. FG Gencos disagree over 6.2 trillion naira debt. More bonds, insurance on the way. Subsidy claims padded, consumers allege. Then the down story, the down part of it, we have plots to arrest 46 Accord leaders uncovered. Northern Christian Senator Sani ordered to defend Catholic bishops. And that's it for the Vanguard.
All right, next we go to the Empire. Of course, the Empire newspaper has this. Tinubu, new coalition, G100 moves to broker single opposition candidate for 2027. Police uncover fake NIN PVC factory in Niger State. Arrest 42-year-old suspect. Recover 304 fake NIN PVCs. All that on Empire newspaper. Then the economics of Delta's investment summits. That's a feature there. And Delta Economic Summit. Asaba set for global spotlight. All right, I think we still have the business day.
Yes, on Business Day, there are just a few headlines. 43 insurers scale industry recapitalization hurdle as 8 await fate. That's what we have on Business Day and very much on newspaper headlines this morning on Morning Dew. When we come back after the short break, we'll be joined by our analyst, Mr. Godfrey Ubaka, as we look at the topical stories making the headlines and make sense of them. Stay with us.
Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives. Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives. Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives.
The Delta State government invites business leaders, global investors, policy makers, and industry captains to the Delta State Economic and Investment Summit 2026, themed Harnessing Our Strengths and Unlocking Our Potentials. Chief guest of honor, the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Senator Kashim Shettima, GCON. Keynote speaker, Director General of the World Trade Organization, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, GCON. Guest speaker, renowned scholar, Professor Patrick Lumumba, chairman of the occasion, Engineer Austin Avoru. Other distinguished local and international participants will also be in attendance. Date August 3 to 5, 2026. Time 10 a.m. daily. Venue Dome Event Center, Asaba. Chief host His Excellency Right Honorable Sheriff Obrewori, Governor Delta State. Announcer Dr. Kingsley Emu, Secretary to Delta State Government and Chairman Planning Committee.
Wake up with us every morning.
We bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives.
You're welcome back. And of course, we're looking at quite a number of headlines that were, highlighted in the papers. Godfrey Barker is already here.
Thank you very much, Henry.
You're welcome to a new day, in a new week, in a new month.
Yeah, in the month of August.
We ended last Friday being in the month of July.
Yeah.
Now we are here on Monday. And
Quite significant for Delta.
Okay.
Delta is hosting a wonderful
World Economic Summit.
Yeah, starting off this morning.
Yeah. Maybe we'll start from there.
Mm-hmm.
Delta Business, Economic and Business
Investment Summit.
Economic and Investment Summit.
Yes.
Yeah. What are we expecting from this? Because over here we are good at holding talks, making plans, projecting, and all that. And at the end of the day, little is said. What are we expecting from it?
It's better to make plans than not to make plans
at all? I wonder.
You understand? But I think Delta is ripe to take potentialities to actualities.
Okay.
Delta has so much potential. Talk about the blue economy. Talk about the ports that actually needs to be active. Talk about an economy that is that should be harnessed to be just like what the economy of some countries should be, with a whole lot of potential. So create jobs, to be the food basket to neighboring states and all that. And with a boisterous youth population, then with I don't know how many other states in Nigeria that have up to 4 state universities.
Okay.
So that's an industry of its
own.
A whole lot of potentials in the health sector, and the need to revive also what used to be. There was a time we had the Sapele sawmill, the Ughelli Delta glass industry, Asaba textile mill,
plywood industry.
And we also have mining potential. Yes, our greatest in the area of core competence, as it were, or area of economic advantage, is more towards oil and gas. And we do know that is more under the purview of the federal government. But there is a whole lot of value chain that should be derived from it. Delta has been exemplary with respect to managing issue of security. Okay. We don't want to talk about insecurity. Insecurity is festering everywhere.
Okay,
but the Delta economy, including tourism, the film industry, has been booming because Delta presents an exemplary template with respect to how you can maintain a peaceful environment and how that will boost your industrialization. So having gotten to that point, and with the mega projects that Sheriff Oborewore has also put in place, now it is time to bring people, key players, and who can be better than our own daughter, Dr. Mrs. Okonjo-Iweala of the World Trade Organization, to be the keynote who will come there. And we do hear that whenever Lumumba speaks, Patrick Lumumba speaks, potentials are unfolded, and you begin to see things come to life. He is also on ground. Of course, the vice president of the country is on ground, and so many others. So I think the time for Delta to arise and shine
Delta is bubbling.
Yes.
But look at this. Those who are critical of the summit, are looking at issues like the constraints that come from our constitution. Most of the things we're talking about, mining, ports, they come under, like you said, under the purview of the federal government. So how much can we have the latitude to invest in this area without having to breach the constitution?
Well, a whole number of things are changing. We don't have to get ourselves restricted into the past.
Okay.
A time was in this country where you needed to just depend on the national grid for you to provide power in a state. But we know that has been unbundled greatly. We know what Abia State is doing with OT there.
Yeah.
You understand? And we know that Delta has had to come up with IPP, Independent Power Project.
Okay.
It has its limited capacity. But of course, we do know that the time has come to expand this.
Yeah.
We must unbundle.
That's right.
There are potentials that we don't have to wait for. We must look at our environment. What can we do differently in order that we set a brighter example? And we do not need to come under the constraint of, oil and gas under the federal government and all that. But we also do realize that of late, we have seen constitutional changes with respect to the NNPCL coming on board that have resulted in a situation where states are permitted to get license to go into refining.
Okay.
So what stops a state like Delta to say, oh, yes, it's being lifted from here, but if we cite our own refinery here, we can now supply a number of other states, and the state can go into partnership with private sector players. And so those are the areas the potentials that we need to. The cocoa pot is there. Delta may not be able to do it alone. Then the dredging of the Niger, in order that it can, in order that it can permit some
big vessels
to pass through. Those are the potentials that we need to explore and see how we can translate them into actualities, because Delta of yesterday, yes, good enough, but we need to see how Delta can move to a better destination.
Talking about Delta moving to a better destination, this summit, as we have learned from everyone who has spoken to us about it, is to move Delta beyond oil. We know that all this while it's been all about exploring oil, exploiting the oil potentials. And the theme of the summit, of the investment summit, is harnessing our strengths, unlocking our potentials, which you have talked about. Now, for someone watching us now who is wondering or thinking that this investment summit, because whenever you hear about things like this, it's assumed that it's for big people who are coming, and everyone is talking about investors coming from around Brazil, the world. China. So where does the average Deltan play into such a summit as this, or local investors from across the country? How do they come in? Are they allowed to come today or over the course of the 3 days program to be part of it? And in what sense?
I think essentially it is to open up everyone's eyes, both the foreign participators, the international participators and the potential investors, and also investors that are within, you and I, to know what can we do differently in order that we can harness the potentials around us. Because the greatest limitation of anybody is to be close to opportunity and not be able to recognize that the opportunities are in there.
Okay.
That's the greatest. There are a whole lot of opportunities in this country, in this state, including from the peace, the pervading peace that we have, to the agri potentials. The agri potentials. We know that there are communities that we've had agri investors come in and develop, some major farms that have been employers of labor, and we need to take our agri potential. Delta, incidentally, we found out that at some point it was rated as the 5th cocoa producing state in Nigeria.
Do we still produce cocoa?
Yeah, Delta was rated 5th.
Okay.
Wow.
But the belief,
Was it recently?
the belief is this, that it's only Southwest that can produce cocoa.
That's what I thought myself.
The soil was tested and adjudged the 5th cocoa producing state.
Okay.
Based on that, some persons from Delta were invited and were given trailer load of cocoa seedling.
Okay.
But incidentally, we were told it never arrived Delta.
Wonderful.
It was sold at that venue
even
because some people believe that the gestation period is too long. How can I come and plant what I will not be in government to
reap?
So this short-termism is what is killing us. If they had planted that cocoa by that time, by now, we would have been reaping the potential. Benefits. But everybody wants to think about, does it really make sense that I will clear the ground and I will plant these seedlings that the federal government gave out free of charge? You transport them to Delta, and by now, we should be talking of how we can reap. But most of us, especially people in government, have short-termism.
Yeah, their tenure is 4 years.
If it can't benefit me now, I must start what I can finish and commission. If it does not benefit me
then
now,
there's no need.
Then there is no need.
What happened to legacies?
Well,
it's a rhetorical question you have asked now. What happened to legacies?
So that we don't shift from our summit.
Thank you very much. Legacies have become rhetorics, but propaganda. That is what is holding us back from where we must learn to start off something that we can hand over.
That can outlive us.
That can outlive us. And at the end of the day, the society is
the greater
beneficiary for it.
Yeah.
But if I have an idea of, let me just do something that they will commend me over in the next 2, 3, 4 months, then I will end up somebody who plants maize.
Tomatoes first.
So tomatoes, will also be said that he planted.
Yes.
He made effort, he planted. But for somebody who planted rubber, it may take time.
Yeah,
but at the end of the day, the person may have answered the question of legacy. The person who planted cocoa may have handed over legacies to the oncoming generation. So let's learn to think along that line.
Okay.
We do hope that those are some of the things that the speakers today will be addressing.
Yes, talking about legacy, I saw a video where someone was saying, I'm in Yankee today because I have a family whereby we support each other. So when you're talking about legacy, like, okay, I will not be in office to reap this thing, but there are other persons who will come and say, oh, this person did this thing because of this person that will have this in our state right now. And looking at Delta State as a rich state, blessed by God already, and the governor of Delta State coming up at this time to say, okay, let's have an economic and investment summit. I want to give him kudos for that, because it is a great step, bringing in foreign investors and not just looking at the area of, just oil and what is it called again, but also I want to employ them to look critically into the area of agriculture, because some places in Delta State we've seen where tomatoes grow, fresh pepper grows, other things. These are areas that they can invest in greatly. And, you know, the state, we're going to have economic growing states.
Yeah, talking about an economy that will be able to engage our youth.
Exactly. Everybody creates wealth.
Take us to a Delta state that will be exemplary.
In simple terms, a diversified Delta economy.
All right, so much on the summit. Let's leave the Jojo for those who have been called to come and speak and, of course, open our eyes to. Now, recently, the Catholic bishop visited the presidency, and of course, a lot appears to be coming out from that that issue. People
it made my weekend. It made my weekend because apart from other things one would try to do during the weekend, following also the news, it's an addiction.
Yeah.
After decades of
working
in this profession, so. We found out that yes, the Catholic bishops visited the president, and at the end of the day, Bishop Onaiko had to also grant an interview to a national television, where he explained that from their interaction with the president, they found out that he is insulated from the reality on ground. That it does appear as if people who surround him are not telling him the truth. That the president found it difficult to come to terms with the reality of the fact that there is hunger in the land. That his reformation or his reforms are actually not, it's taking too long for us to see,
to manifest,
to feel it, you know, and that there is hardship in the land, and that this hardship need to be ameliorated. That was, in simple terms, the message they took to the president. But it sounded strange to him because it was on a discordant note with the kind of message that he has been hearing. And so that was the summary of what Onaiko said in the interview he granted. But one of the spokespersons to the president,
of course,
the president of Boala, came out more like an attack dog that Onaiko broke the presidential protocols. Why did he go to the media to speak on a private meeting that they had? Of course, Onaiko made it clear that the message delivered to the president was written. It was written down. And it was, they deliberated on it over and over again.
And the meeting was publicized.
And it came up as a consensus. But they gave a political inkling to it, a political slant to it, that the Catholic bishops supported. I do not know how the presidential spokesperson came up to that. Supported Peter Obi in 2023. And they have timed this visit now that they have come more like to bring down the profile of the president and by implication throw up that of the person whom they consider as a Catholic. That is divisive. The Association of Northern Catholics have come up to say that much, that Boala is, by his utterances, trying to divide this nation. That the Catholic bishops went there not on behalf of themselves, not on behalf of the Catholic mission, but on behalf of Nigerians, to tell truth to power, to say, look, we are feeling this pain. If you can address some of these issues, things can go, which I consider that it came at a very timely time. Timely in the sense that if the president is able to address some of these things in the next couple of months, then of course it can brighten his chances at the polls. You know, then of course the other interesting dimension is that Atiku has had reason, because over the weekend he also was having back and forth with the president. You know, that Tinubu's presidency is telling Nigerians lies with statistics. Stop using statistics to tell lies. that everybody knows what the economy is saying when they get into the market. We see what the industry is saying, So interestingly, Atiku also, I think through Shuab, is a spokesperson, threw up another throwback, as it were, that Catholic bishops are not fake or rented bishops. And I don't know if that reminds anybody of what
transpired.
What happened at some point,
yes,
where the tailor had to make some bishop rope. You are familiar with such rope now. Had to make some bishop rope and wear some persons who came and they said that in spite of the Muslim ticket, even bishops came and endorsed. And when they were going, they saw some of the bishops on Okada going with their food packs.
Yes.
And you begin to wonder what manner of bishop.
And those that they paid less were complaining.
We're complaining.
We're going to continue. Yeah, we need to go.
Okay, talking about the fake bishop. But we have a genuine one here in the studio.
No, I'm here as a journalist. All right, viewer, just stay with us. We'll go on a short break. When we come back, we'll look at the other area. We hear that the other oppositions are trying to form what they call G100 to oppose Mr. President in the elections. Let's see how interesting that will be when we come back. Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives.
Yes, welcome back. And of course, I did mention some of the papers have, shown clearly that there's a back walk for, the opposition party to form a coalition. How possible would that be? Group 100.
Well, it's not too late in the day.
Okay.
It's not too late in the day to contest against power of incumbency. Well, it takes an enlightened electorate to understand the dynamics of what and what are at work. But it also takes a unified opposition to also give it a frontal and a decisive contest, as it were. But at the end of the day, the opposition, we expect, should be able to market what they represent and what they can do differently to Nigerians. Because at the end of the day, it's about the people voting. It's a disturbing trend that some of the papers are talking of factories where they are manufacturing
PVCs and, of course, NIM.
And cards. And all that. That again sets a very dangerous, very dangerous trend. Yeah. Where in the news also is the president's qualification.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Has been thrown up again. Yeah. That has been thrown up again. That before you get a BSc or whatever,
you have a secondary education.
You should have a primary, secondary education, because those are the foundation.
That's right.
Those are the foundation. And if the foundation be destroyed, there is really
nothing. What can the politician do?
What can the politician do? But we now have a situation where INEC is also trying to present an alibi that they are not in a position to investigate. Theirs is to publicize. They've made it public, for the public to now see. Theirs is not to go and probe that they are not a probe agency.
Even at that, there's already a precedent. There was an INEC that screened him before, and he has been president for. So why are you going back to? You can't find anything. If they screened him through and he became president, is it not that he's going for second term that you're going to screen him and get results?
Screen him out. So I think the battle now is taken to the public purview.
Yeah.
Let Nigerians decide
the
direction they want the nation to take in the next.
But talking about the possible opposition, possible coalition, how will it work? We have an Atiku who is hell-bent for the last time to be president. We have an Obi who is getting large support of the youth and all that, and everybody's happy with the OK ticket of Obi Kwakwanso. Now, who will buckle for the other? Likely.
The demographic layout of our voting pattern shows that if they go to the field like that, with the power of incumbency and the number of governors that are supporting the current president, then of course the opposition may not have a chance.
Okay.
So wisdom demands that they should be able to, at this point, put Nigeria first.
Okay.
And put ego and self second.
Side.
That's what makes statesmen. But by the time they say, oh, it must be me, it's my last chance, and this one say, I want to go just for 4 years and all that, at the end of the day, you end up splitting the vote.
Yeah.
And Nigeria will end up being in this political quagmire for the next couple of years.
Do you see the coalition becoming a reality?
It's
possible?
It's still possible. There are other statesmen that
are trying to prevail.
Mention their
Okay.
names, that are trying to see it.
All right, to tail off on this, because our time is constrained already. There's a report. The floods have started causing havoc, starting from Yobe State up north. What signal does that send to us? Because we have been warned that 27 states will be affected by flood. Already, we are seeing casual.
It's happening.
Let me not say casualty. We are seeing victims in Yobe State.
Yeah, it's an annual thing that we ought to expect. It's expected that in places in climes where you have planning, some states by now should not be going for IDP camps. By now you should know that it will come.
Yeah.
Then you make provision for an upland camp where people can be evacuated.
Can easily go. Yeah.
And there, their children will have educational
continued
facilities.
Education.
There should be health and all that.
Okay.
Because what makes people have this kind of sentimental attachment to their roots is, if I live here,
Where will I go?
where will I go?
How do I survive?
A man was escaping, and at some point he realized that the flood was about to take the goat he had. He went back to rescue the goat, carrying it on his neck, and in the process, both himself and the goat were swept off. Some people also have attachment to, oh, this is my root. My fathers, they lived here. But by now we should be able to plan out upland locations where people can go.
Yeah.
And it's just for about 2 months or thereabout. While we also think about dredging the Niger, because when we do, it has a bigger basin that the flood can flow through, and we plan our cities better.
All right, so much we can take on a paper review this morning, because of course the man for sport is standing by. Thank you, Godfrey, for being there, and of course we continue with our program.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for
thank you so
staying with
much.
us.
Yeah.
Wake up with us every morning.
We bring you news at its peak. At its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives.
In the heart of Asaba, where the street tells the stories every single day.
From the corridors of powers to the decisions shaping governance and politics in Delta and Nigeria.
From traders counting every naira to families battling rising costs and uncertain times.
From football pitches to sporting successes to the major developments making the headlines all over the world.
And from the untold human stories, the struggles, victories, resilience, and hope of the everyday Nigerians.
This is the news beyond the headlines. Dott TV News are your trusted window to stories that truly matter to the people. Here, we don't just report events, we tell the human stories behind them.
We impose extra burden on the masses. I feel your pain.
Only humility will lead us to unity. And unity will lead us to peace.
Go to the market and sell their products.
From Harrison, that is a massive world record. Martinelli goes, boys, out of his goal. Martinelli, this will be 3 for
Yes, welcome back. And of course, that clip was a reminder, always a reminder that Anthony Uche is in the studio with his sports baggage. Anthony, how was your weekend?
It was a very, very good weekend, sporty weekend, and a weekend in which some people tried to redeem themselves. And yeah, we'll get into the story of redemption. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, you're welcome.
Yes, of course, talking about redemption, the Super Falcons, they did it on Saturday. Started off in, the tournament, they started off badly, losing to debutants, of course, as already, the Malawians. But in their second game against Zambia, a team that they beat 5-0 the last time they met in 2022. But this time around, they had to settle for the single goal to win. Asisat Oshoala coming through at the tournament, scoring after just 8 minutes. And Nigeria had what could look like was a big challenge because after 38 minutes, Demehin got sent off. And they had to play most of the game with 10 women, as you would say so now. But they managed to pull through. Justin Madugu's side held on for that win, and that now puts their title defense back on track. Because if they had lost that game or perhaps even dropped points, it would be a very, very tricky journey for them. But now that win puts them on 3 points, which means they have to play Egypt in their final group game. And Egypt have been more or less the whooping babies of the group because they got beat. Their first 2 games, they've lost all 2. So you don't expect them to be that much of a problem. But we'll probably say the same thing about the Namibia, about the
Zambians.
Yeah, the Zambians and the Namibians that beat them as well. But I expect that this time around they take no chances and deal absolutely with Egypt in their final group game, and that will put them into the quarterfinals, which is now getting them closer to that World Cup qualification, which is the most important thing about this tournament, in my opinion. Yes, winning the AFCON is a fantastic achievement. You also win $2 million with it, which is also a fantastic financial reward. But the biggest thing about this tournament is that it also serves as a qualification process to the World Cup that will come up in 2027 in Brazil. So for Justin Madugu and the ladies, kudos to them, great job. And hopefully they just go on now to finish everything off and then make sure, because this thing was also similar to what they did in 2022. They had a wobbly start the last time they won the tournament, but they recovered and went on to, to went all the way. So I think they will probably do the same this time around, but fingers crossed, we'll see how that goes. And then of course, still talking about, international football. I came here on Friday and I told you about a certain man under fire, Gianni Infantino, for the choices and the decisions he's made as FIFA president. Not just, the biggest one. The biggest one is simple, just to look at the FIFA Forward project that he tried to do that ultimately now has collapsed. But
I think he backpedaled.
Yes, he backpedaled now. He's rescinded the offer and, he's walked back on the idea basically. But I think what he's going through now is a accumulation of all of the bad calls he's been making since he became FIFA president. So I don't think it's only just on this. I think this was just the last straw, that tested the absolute patience of every other confederation and the federations around the world. But I think this whole problem for Infantino started way before this. The awarding of the Qatar World Cup to Qatar at the time a lot of the things he said about awarding that World Cup to Qatar, who were not, I mean, let's be honest, they're not a footballing nation. And then even moving the World Cup to the United States of America, Canada, and Mexico, but majorly to the United States of America. And then at the tournament at the United States of America, a lot of the things that happened, including the rescission or suspending of a match ban, which probably has never happened in football ever since it started, or since the World Cup at least started in 1930. So all of those things put together, and now the decision to basically sell off the sport to the highest bidders or the private investors was just the final straw. Yes, like I said, the news broke early Saturday morning, around midnight Saturday morning, that he had now rescinded the offer and will no longer proceed with the project. But even after that, he's still being under fire, because UEFA came out to make statements as well and said it's not enough that you've rescinded that offer. You have to resign, without actually saying he should resign. But he just said the game of football cannot continue in that direction. Many other confederations have also come out to back him, and others, most likely, largely, has also come out to back UEFA and other people calling for his resignation. No comment has been made yet. But the thing about this thing is that there are three options for him here. He either chooses to step aside, which is not likely. He's not the type of man to step aside. He likes to, bury his head in the sand and try as much as he can to see if anything can happen. That is one of the options. The second one is that he just chooses the honorable or more honorable way of living by saying 2027 elections that is coming up, I will not be standing in to contest. So I will just leave after my tenure this time around, which also doesn't look likely, unless if it's now becoming too glaring for him that if he contests, which is the third option, yes, he's going to lose, because now a lot of people are rallying around different candidates. But one thing that UEFA is trying to do, which I think is a big problem. You remember, this guy is a son of UEFA. He's a European. And in 2016, when he was campaigning for the election, he was pushed solely by UEFA to kick out Sepp Blatter at the time. So for him to have lost the support of UEFA, the same body that pushed him to where he is very, very damning. And if you read the statement that UEFA put out on Saturday morning, as you can see there, they used one of his campaign promises against him, and that's very damning. He said when he was campaigning in 2016, the FIFA's money is not the FIFA president's money. It is your money as fans of football. And you see from everything that has been going on lately,
as fans,
he's gone back on.
I've not seen any 1 naira.
You see, but you see,
I'm a big fan of football. I've not seen 1 naira.
Neither have I. But you see what I'm saying, that most of the things that he's done over the last few years has shown basically him moving back on that campaign promise. It's not likely contest and lose, which is the most likely way to get him out of office, or maybe just decide to step aside and not contest in the 2027 election that is coming up, that would lead him to 2031. Either way, UEFA, like I said, they are looking for a single candidate to heap all of their support on. Because there are 55 member nations there, and CONCACAF also, that is the body, the confederation in charge of the South America, North Central American Confederations of Football, has 41 member nations as well, and they are throwing their weights behind UEFA as well. So if all of that vote goes to a single person, then it carries more weight. And maybe 2 or 3 candidates, and then they split those votes into 2, there will be division. And I think if Infantino still has support from a lot of people, although they are not vocal at the point.
And he has room to make amends.
Yes,
anyway.
of course. And he is the person in charge, so he could find ways to find something or stuff to do to appease people. And then, I mean, he's the incumbent, so he still has the power, whatever we say. But like I said, he's coming under increasing pressure to resign, even from the people working within FIFA. They said they will call for a FIFA meeting within FIFA officials, and the biggest agenda on that meeting is that they will recommend that he resign as FIFA president. But like I said, I don't think Infantino is the kind of guy to do that. And finally,
Is he a Nigerian? I wanted to ask.
No, he's not. But he's
a Nigerian?
The money in football is very alluring. Very alluring.
Because I thought that would have been the honorable thing. And he's a European. We know that in that part of the world, once there is a lot of negativity around what you're doing, we've seen prime ministers of the UK have had to
the money in football is too alluring for you to resign like that.
You know the thing about FIFA, people still don't. I don't think it's highlighted enough. So when you have countries, you have economic, like in Nigeria, you make accounts to the EFCC or people like that of every spending at the end of every year, because there are regulatory bodies there to monitor you. But in FIFA, there's nobody calls FIFA at the end of the year and say, come and give us an account of how much you made and how much you spent. So that is basically free money.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because then you have to make no account at the end of the year.
We'll leave it at this point. Of course, we're reaching you live from the studios of Dott TV here, and this is Morning Dew. But at this point, we'll go to the Dome Event Center here in the heart of Asaba City, Delta State, where preparations are on for the Delta State Economic and Investment Summit. Dott TV crew is standing by to give us early feelers from their event venue. We're going to watch a few interviews. Stay with us as we join them.
Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives.
In the heart of Asaba, where the street tells the stories every single day.
From the corridors of powers to the decisions shaping governance and politics in Delta and Nigeria.
From traders counting every naira to families battling rising costs and uncertain times.
From football pitches to sporting successes to the major developments making the headlines all over the world.
And from the untold human stories, the struggles, victories, resilience, and Delta State is hosting the world at the Delta Economic and Investment Summit. And here, dignitaries, government functionaries, policy leaders, business leaders, and investors are already gathered and looking to harnessing the wealth and the economic strength of Delta State. I'm not alone here. I have one of our guests, Mr. Du, and we're going to be meeting him shortly. Good morning, Mr. Du.
Good morning.
So, very quickly, tell us, what brings you to Delta State?
Okay. I'm from TTC Hydro Limited. Our company is dedicated to promoting the this relationship development between this China and the Nigeria. So I'm glad that Ambassador Jane Odisa invited me come to this summit to understand more these opportunities and seeking these opportunities in Delta State.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Now, there's a lot packed out for today. We have the government is looking into different sectors, starting from the blue economy, going to agriculture and livestock, also hospitality, and also real estate and lifestyle. So, which areas in particular do you think your organization is going to pan towards?
Yes, actually, we actually into this multiple sectors. Even recently, in middle of July, we have signed the tribal agreement between among this Nasima and Lingyif Wholesalers Federation, which is the organization in China owns like more than 5,000 manufacturers. So seeking this bilateral trade business and also this investment opportunities. So this for the Delta States, currently we actually looking at like EV infrastructure, charging infrastructure opportunities, and this medical, this consumable medical, this manufacturer, and also this agriculture, because we have contacts, we have the team in China who has this one of the largest network to spread this seafood or this products in China. So we are willing to promote a lot of products in Nigeria here, and also to send it to China.
Thank you very much. That is indeed a huge one. I hope you get a return for your investment in Delta State. Thank you very much, Mr. Du. I really appreciate it. Okay, viewers, just like I said earlier, the Delta Investment and Economic Summit is looking at various areas in selling Delta State, from the blue economy, which includes the marine and aquaculture. And like you know, Delta State is occupied 45% of water. And also the livestock is not left out, hospitality, and also real estate sector. A lot are going to be done on this program today, and please do not touch that dial. I will see you later. Keep watching Dott Television.
Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak.
accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives.
Yes, welcome back to our studio. That was just a filler from the event of the Delta State Summit on Investment and Economy. Well, we'll be giving you fillers as they arise from there, but we were on sports, and of course, Tony is still here.
Of course.
Do you like me calling you Tony or Anthony?
They are my name. I would most rather prefer Anthony because that's my name.
Anthony, okay.
Where you bring
Anthony.
Uche from? Why are you putting Uche inside? Because he's asking
Yes,
about Anthony.
Uche is your
Anthony.
name.
Leave that one.
Find
Go ahead.
out.
Let's talk about Anthony. Well, yeah, anyone, they are my names. And well, we were talking about, I was just about to round up with the Commonwealth Games that has now finished over 10 days, 30,000 athletes from over 70 countries of the Commonwealth. They gathered in Glasgow, Switzerland, Scotland, not Switzerland now. Yes, and Nigeria came out on top as the best African nation, 7th overall on the general medals table, 24 medals, 10 of them gold, 7 silver and bronze apiece. And yeah, for Team Nigeria, well, of course, the National Sports Commission and the Athletics Federation of Nigeria set them a target of 30 medals, but you take 26, you take 24 really, considering the constraints and the people they had to come up against. But I mean, if you look at the overall table that will come up very shortly, Australia look like they are playing a different sport entirely.
Yeah,
because they accumulated. look at the table count. 171 medals.
And the margin between
They still dominated. Because usually going into games like this, you think, okay, England should be at least somewhere near, and even Scotland as the host nation, or Canada. I mean, Canada do well at the overall Olympic Games, but Australia has absolutely swept everything with, on their way. And look at the difference: 70 gold medals to 29. I mean, it's not even close. It's not okay. Let's forget about other medals. Let's even talk about only the gold medals. It's not even close. So, well, for Australia, fantastic performance. And for Team Nigeria, if this is a bit of how do I put it? It is a bit of a teaser of what Los Angeles 2028 will be for the Olympic Games. Then maybe we are going in with a better chance than we did in the previous two Olympics in 2020 and 2022 as well. 2024, sorry, in Japan. We look a bit better now going in there. But a lot could happen within 2 years. It's a long time. But one thing I just wanted to also say is pointing out the commendations for Glasgow and Scotland, basically, because with 18 months to go, there was no hosts for the Commonwealth Games. In fact, there was not going to be any Commonwealth Games because Birmingham pulled out of hosting it, understandably so, because in less than a week, the European Championships, the Athletics Championships in Europe will go down in the same Birmingham. So it was going to be a bit of a problem for them to host back-to-back tournaments. So since they pulled out, India will host the next one. So they were not ready to pick it up, step it up by 4 years. So all of those things put together, but Glasgow stepped up, saved the day with 18 months to go. And if you look at the tournament, yes, it is not all the sports were participated in or were taking part at the Commonwealth Games, but for 18 months, for something that was just put together within 18 months, they did absolutely fantastic. And
came out fine.
Yes, they came out really, really well, and they've done themselves and the Commonwealth proud. For Team Nigeria, most of our medals, as you would expect, came from the tracks and physically, they basically
we do well with our physically challenged
the physical
athletes.
sports, and the power lifters and the power lifters, as well as the track events, long jump, shot put. Chukwuebuka Enekwechi became the first Nigerian man to ever win a gold medal at the Commonwealth Games, in shot put. And then, of course, Nathaniel Ezekiel, the former Nigerian police officer as well, won a gold medal at the 400 meters hurdles. And also, there are so many people who did really well for themselves. Our queen of the tracks, Tobiloba Amusan, couldn't quite replicate her gold medal feat. Yes, but she got a bronze. So she got
from gold to bronze. It's not
a medal is a medal.
I know.
It's a medal. And
thank God she didn't crash out altogether.
Well, but generally encouraging or inspiring outing, not the best. I mean, if you look at the table, you say, Nigeria first in Africa, but really we should have been a lot better. But then, regardless of that, it is encouraging, it's an inspiring outing, and it's only going to be a foundation for the future successes.
Yeah, that's what you have today.
Yes.
Thank you, Tony, for being there. Maybe I'll add this. You say that wrestling is not sport.
Yes, of course. I know about the Obafemi story and all of that. Yes, Brock Lesnar
has retired Brock Lesnar.
Yes, basically at WrestleMania.
And Lesnar actually raised his hand and said, I was the past, he is the future.
Of course. And well, I maintain my ground.
Yeah,
WWE
I don't have problem
is basically
with that,
a script being
but that's
played
just
out.
to serve our fans.
Yeah, of course, no, of course. It is a thing of national pride. This is something you watch and you are happy for.
Can you explain a bit of it? Why you say wrestling is not sport?
Yeah, it's not necessary. Okay, it is a sport because then you use your physical, you use your body, but it is not a core sport. Let me put it that way. It is a
the one they
movie.
do is entertainment.
Yes, it's
WWE. But normally in our climb here we have wrestling as sport.
Of course, yes, of course, competitive sports. Yeah, traditional wrestling.
But the one they are doing there,
yes, no, the one with
WWE,
yes, exactly.
Violence.
Okay.
One is entertainment.
Yes, well, let's go back to the venue of the Delta State Investment Summit because we need to have an interaction with the Commissioner of Economic Planning. Who and our crew members are standing by there to give us the commissioner's thoughts, just to let us know what he thinks ahead of the summit. We know that soon enough, the summit will fully kickstart. So we're cutting down to the Dome Event Center where Priscilla Ifani is standing by with that interview.
In the last 3 years is to prepare this ground. So when investors come, they see that the government has laid the necessary foundation, because you cannot be talking of investment without solid infrastructure to support whatever that these investors are going to be bringing in. We have good roads now, we have good hospitals, as it were. We are also reforming the electricity sector, and as such, it is time now for very discerning investors to come and take a position in Delta State, and that is why we're having this expose. So it is something whose time has come, and I think this is the next phase of the direction the government is going. Yeah,
thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. All right, you just heard from the Commissioner of Economic Planning, Mr. Sonny Ekadai, and he's saying Delta is moving beyond oil this time around. We are harnessing all the resources we have here in Delta State, from aquaculture to livestock to real estate and also hospitality. Don't go anywhere. We're still going to be right back shortly.
That truly matter to the people. Here, we don't just report events, we tell the human stories behind them.
We impose extra burden on the masses. I feel your pain.
Only humility will lead us to unity, and unity will lead us to peace.
Go to the market and sell their products.
Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives.
Yes, welcome back. That is how we're going to be doing it today, from the studio to the venue of the Delta State Economic and Investment Summit. We'll be taking whatever is going on there, giving you feelers and whetting your appetite for it. There's an area we almost left out, but we can't fail. That is the aspect of media publicity for this event. It's a big event. And of course, we have brought into the studio the chairman, State Council of the NUJ, Mr. Churchill Oyowe, to tell us, how is the government? First of all, you're welcome to our studio.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, how this big event, how has the government factored in the journalists?
Okay, actually, last week when the Commissioner for Information, let me use the word Commissioner for Works, Rural Roads,
Information.
and Public Information, had an interactive session with the press. The issue was raised and they addressed it that will be looked into. There's no way such a huge program, huge activity will be taking place here in Delta State and the press will not be involved. As I talk to you now, I have an activity to carry out to ensure that my members are accredited, the ones that will be covering the event, this 3-day event. So if I leave here, I will rush straight
to the venue
to ensure that they are all accredited. Those who have been designated by their various media houses, the ones that are based on individuals, they are also accredited.
Now, what did you have a back end meeting with your members, because it's a big event, and then whether they invited you or not, whether they accredit you or not, of course you have a job to do.
Yeah.
Did you have a back end meeting or kind of preparation, for your people? Because in a place like that, you're going to have all manner of people, bouncers, security men, and all that, so that they will have a mindset, so that we don't have an issue of what do we call it, harassment of journalists coming up after this, or mistreatment of journalists.
Well, we've always talked to ourselves to comport ourselves decently. And again, that issue was raised concerning police or security agencies harassment. And it was also addressed by the commissioner that they will look into it so that nobody is unnecessarily harassed, molested, or arrested, all because it's a journalist covering the event. In fact, the more reason why you should not do such arrest is because he's a journalist. He's entitled to cover. That is his constitutional rights. Section 22, we have always said it, to be there to hold government accountable so that we can have good governance. But we are saying we should do it responsibly. So for the security agencies, I think they should talk to themselves. Overzealousness does not have any accommodation in this kind of situation. Yes, they are there to do their job, ensure that the place is safe, secured, but some of them can be very overzealous. And I expect that their orgas, their leaders, should also talk to them. They should be discretionary in the way they handle the members of the public, particularly media practitioners.
Now, let me look at this area. Now you have talked about, I'm sure it's part of making the police orderly by bringing out tags. Now, what of a situation where you have you fall short of tags to cover all journalists that intend to cover? What happens?
It's the same
Are you
thing.
going to be on ground to begin to permit those who go in, or
once somebody has his personal identity card
as a journalist
and you are sure it is genuine, as a security personnel, you don't have to deny that person access. The only way you can say, okay, the place is filled up for security reasons or for safety reasons, nobody can go in. That can be well explained. And I'm sure the journalists can understand to say, okay, the place is already crowded. But then if somebody comes with his personal ID card, he should be admitted because it's a public function. And I also want to talk to my people, be responsible in the way you approach security agencies. They themselves have ego. They can also be overbearing when you step on their ego. We should be civil and decent in our interactions.
Okay, talking about the coverage, which we hope soon enough, some journalists have already started writing about it. On Empire this morning, we saw some on the front page. That was what dominated the headlines. What is the focus? What do you see journalists coming up with? You can give us a range of some of the topical and main issues you want them to focus on.
Well, it's an opportunity for us to ruminate on it. We may not have had a formal session on how to approach it, but this is a big event where you don't just look at it from the surface value. The governor said, the governor has declared it open. No, we go beyond the surface and dig deep so that at the end of the day, it will not end up as a talk shop. Look at what is prevailing. Know where to cover. You are covering governor, you are covering SSG, you are covering commissioners, you are covering investors.
Keynote speakers.
Those are keynote speakers. You know who you are covering. And you are going after what has been achieved. MOUs, commitments, negotiations. You know at every stage what we have achieved so that we will be following timelines.
Okay.
Journalists are expected to follow timelines. There will be sessions. There will be specialized sessions. We should know what have been negotiated. We should also know what has led to commitments. And if there are also MOUs, we should also know and report on them. That way, it will give the summit the kind of grounding it needs for follow-ups. Because it should not just end up after 3 days, everybody forget about it. We should be deliberate in targeting issues to address. At the end of the day, there are a lot of areas. Is it maritime? Is it tourism? Is it oil and gas? Is it the agricultural sector? Is it the governance policies that we impact on the summit going forward? So we really need to be deliberate and focused on how we go about reporting this event as journalists. It's not just the normal face value coverage and it ends there.
Now, if he mentioned what was on the what is it called? Front page of Empire. And it was like a feature, the economics of the summit. There are also follow-ups, like we have been talking about ports in Delta, and the constraints we have is that the waterways are not deep enough for big vessels to come and bat in those ports. But we also know that Delta is exposed to the big ocean at the Ogidigbe axis. Now, is it something that is too difficult for the government of Delta to build a port at Ogidigbe, for instance? Can't we interrogate that area as part of reportage of the event?
Well, I'm not very conversant. You cannot know everything. Yes. If states can go into such ventures.
Okay.
Because otherwise it falls
under the one-line vote
purview
of the federal
exclusive
government.
Right of federal government to operate ports.
Okay.
But if the decentralization of what is happening in the country generally is anything to go by.
Yeah.
Yes, it's important that states and the federation units should look at their areas of comparative advantage. Ports operation is one of our special, I would say, areas of advantage.
Yeah.
So that we can develop our seaports, our river ports, and promote that commerce within that corridor.
That blue economy.
The blue economy. Transportation also. The riverine transportation is one area that needs to be looked into. The people over there, they are really suffering when it comes to transportation because we cannot bridge everywhere because of the cost of doing that over time. But while we are looking at the road from Lagos to Calabar being completed, we can also develop the blue economy to cater for water transportation, the kind that you can describe as mass transit, where people will not necessarily spend a fortune to move from one location
you don't need to come from Ogidigbe to Sapele to travel to Lagos. But from your end, you can just go to Lagos.
You can go to Lagos. So we need to have that mass transit mentality when it comes to water transportation also, because it's very costly moving from one place to the other in the riverine areas. If you want to go from Warri to Puraza, if you want to go from Warri to Ogidigbe or Ogeye, it's very expensive.
Okay, yeah.
It's very, very expensive. So those people are like, they're cut off. And
And there's a big market.
It's a big market. It's a big market. You understand? So that investors should show some interest in. And for me, yes, the states should look into the area of developing ports operations, but I don't know
whether it's
within their
constitutional leverage.
Yeah.
Do you think that some of these things, these areas that are not necessarily under the state's purview, that with the prevailing good relationship that the state government has with the federal government, that it is possible?
Can relationship override constitutional?
Is it possible that would give the state the opportunity to kind of pitch for some form of intervention in these areas?
Of course. We have various platforms that we can use. The executive platforms, the legislative platforms. We can use it to attract federal government attention to these areas. The deep sea ports at Ogidigbe was at a time during the Jonathan era, President Goodluck Jonathan era, envisaged to have commenced, but somewhere along the line it was abandoned. That would have been a good opportunity for us to have a major seaport that will service the river ports. Like you talked about dredging. Some kind of dredging can take place and you will alter the ecosystem completely in that environment. So these ports are river ports. Big vessel cannot ply. But for the seaport, which is a natural harbor for big vessels, yes, we need to develop that. For the river ports, we need to dredge, but for the capacity that will not alter the ecosystem in that area. So we should be able to know that some ports are not meant for big vessels. They have their capacity. The ones that are river ports, they have their capacity. The ones that are seaport, they have their capacity. We don't have seaports, but we need to have one, which is the Ogidigbe. I think it should be one of the issues that should be raised in this summit, and to see how we can boost riverine commerce, the blue economy that we have talked about, to enhance it in Delta State.
Okay, so I'm talking about, government not having, the sole power to venture into the, upgrade of our seaports.
You mean the state government?
Yes, the state government upgrade of our seaport. Now, looking into the power sector, it was, privatized and maybe
deregulated.
Yes, it was deregulated, and we have private investors, coming into the power sector, to give their own energy. Can we not also have, private investors look into the area of the seaports?
You see, you talk about power. Power is pivotal. Without power, industrialization is not possible. You need power to power virtually all that you do, your machinery, your operations. And that is why the federal government has thought it wise to say, this present state of power management is our capacity is behind reality. Every now and then you hear that national grid has broken down, and you put the whole nation into chaos, into blackouts, and that is not good for a country. We should not centralize our power system. We are afraid it should not go to the other states. That's why they have deregulated it. Delta now has the opportunity to develop its own electricity or power sector, and I'm sure they are taking advantage of that. They are talking, from what we have heard in the past, they've started the summer in a year in Asaba, just like a pilot scheme with the 10.8 megawatts, kilowatts, megawatts of electricity that is going on, servicing most of the government-owned facilities and other critical areas. So they are thinking of developing it further, increasing the 1 year in Asaba and going to Warri area At least I heard the Commissioner for Economic Planning, Sonny Ekedaye, talked about it. These are the things that he should come to showcase at this summit and tell us where they are and where they hope to be in the next 1 year, 2 years. Just like you have a rolling plan, they should have a rolling plan for the power sector so that we can see some seriousness, because we really need to develop our power sector where you cannot have the grid system. You talk about solar, because grid cannot go everywhere in the country. There are some areas where you can now develop solar, renewable energy. So these are areas that we believe we highlight prominently at this summit.
All right, we need to let you go, but no, because you have a job to do at the venue. But final words. What are you expecting as the chairman of the NUJ from this summit? A grandstand, a big event. What are you expecting? Your personal expectations?
I've always said that journalism is for development, it's not for destruction.
Okay.
A lot of people see it as an attack machine, an attack tool. No. I expect to see a robust coverage, a coverage that will highlight areas of relevance for stakeholders to key into. That is our job. Our job is to inform, is to educate and entertain. And I want us to put this into being when we are working with the mind for development, not for destruction.
Okay, expectation from the government.
We expect the government to take some of this coverage seriously, some of these reports seriously, because they cannot be seeing everything. But at the end of the day, they will do a kind of synthesize the report and come up with plans on how to really package or implement whatever outcomes that we have at the summit, so that it will not end like I talk as a talk shop.
Yeah.
We should be moving from A to B, B to C, not just remaining in A because the event has been concluded.
Thank you very much, Churchill Oyowe, Chairman,
my pleasure.
NUJ Delta State, for obliging us your time. We know how constrained you are, but you oblige us. That's the true spirit of a journalist. Thank you for coming. Well, viewer, we'll continue with other conversations. And of course, the main event for today, we'll be talking about it, checking the venue, what's happening. We're bringing you up to speed. Don't go away. Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives.
Dott Entertainment, your weekly dose of pure fun, airing every Monday to Friday, 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Saturdays, 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. only on Dott TV.
Back, and of course, we are continuing with our conversation. This time, we're landing on the soft spots, entertainment gist, and of course, Kira Looking so radiant this morning.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I love the fact that you called me a soft.
Happy New
No,
Week.
did I say you are the soft spot? We are laughing at the soft spot.
Which is me.
No, yeah. You make it soft.
It's good to see you
This
again.
is my month, so welcome to my month.
Oh, you're August. All right. Now that you have announced it, we are getting ready.
Yes,
We're warming up for you. Warming up for you. Yeah. Kira is in the studio. Kira, okay.
Talking about celebrations, Saturday saw a lot of things happening in the entertainment industry.
Okay.
But I'm going to kickstart it with the one that is currently trending right now, the JP 2026.
Okay.
Do you know the JP?
Yes,
Jarvis and
Jarvis
Pella.
Pella.
Finally, they have tied the knot. This is the white wedding. This was after their traditional wedding and their civil wedding, which happened last week. On Saturday, they finally tied the knot in a very glamorous and publicized event.
Okay.
This happened in Lagos State, and this event saw, should I say thousands, at least up to, let's just say hundreds of people coming in, because there, at a point, if you watch the video, there was no space for people to sit down.
Normally.
People were standing. I'm talking about influencers. I'm talking about men that are known in the industry, public figures. And also, the couple were gifted an announced gifts of over 410 million naira.
That's all right.
How's that all right? That's
The
massive.
Bible says to those who have more will be given.
Yeah, exactly.
They have and more is given to them.
Absolutely. And I think the couple know what they were doing when they wanted to televise this particular wedding. This wedding is what I call the content wedding, not Gigi's and his I'm married there. They don't know what they're doing.
You are looking for trouble now.
Yes, I am. This wedding was really talked about. We had Femi Kuti showed up. We had Mercy Eke, we had influencers like Mos Mirage and the rest. They turned up, and then
once you mention money, that's only.
Even if it's $1 billion, it's only.
When you call money, just say
only. So they were gifted $20,000, and also they saw about 50,000 people on their live stream, because he talked about the last time I came here talking about their marriage. He said that he wanted to get a van.
Yes, a televised
to be able to live stream the wedding, and he did that, and then they got more than 50,000 fans watching them as this
was going on.
Yes, as it was going on. And also we saw billionaires give them cows. They even got a car gift. These are the ones that we know. Cubana Chief is giving 10 million naira. The ones we the ones we know. Then there are ones that we do not know. So Priscilla Kambala and of course her husband Juma Jax was there, and Mama Queen Mother was also there. A lot of people were there. At a point I started to believe that maybe these people are here for their own content as well, because what made me say that is that before this wedding, some people did not agree. Even the gay that said that he shouldn't get married was also at this event.
Of course. But he has gotten married now.
Also at this event.
His wife.
He got body.
He actually showed up with a woman that
he got
Are you for real?
Yes.
There was a point during last week he said his marriage was
a content.
Yes.
So then
and
the
he came with a woman.
if you go to her Instagram, changed her name to his name. So they're trying to confuse us. Meanwhile, milking us from likes and engagement.
It's because you want to be confused.
They're trying to confuse.
If not, marriage is marriage.
Exactly. You can't come and say it's content.
I think it's part of content to just make a content.
They build a content around it. Just like
it's happening. It's happening.
Nothing deep.
I had an offer like that as well.
You had an offer
like that.
Did you jump at it? How much was involved?
How much was the
contest?
Anyway, from that, on Saturday also saw Kivo. This is a housemate on the current Big Brother Naija going on. Kivo said during a session with, not really a session, a conversation with his fellow housemates, that once a woman walks up to him and make that first move, I call it the conversation that will lead to exchanging of numbers and living happily ever after if God is on your side. He said that once a woman makes that move, automatically, no matter how beautiful that woman is, he loses interest.
Okay, so he doesn't.
There's this society.
Move fast.
There's this societal theory around it that women are not supposed to
change.
It's not only
It's the man who
societal.
should
It's not
change.
societal. It's also biblical. The Bible says, he that findeth a wife findeth a good thing.
But-
Now, that was meant to emphasize chastity. But it doesn't mean that any woman who likes somebody and approaches him saying, I like you, I don't mind us having a relationship, has cheapened herself. That's a poor mentality.
Well, that's
Should
a
she say
mentality.
it?
No, but
Should she actually say it? Because I feel
No.
there's a way you can indicate.
No.
There's a way
Even
you can
if-
let
even-
know.
that's
listen,
why women.
Whatever way you want to indicate
everybody is
it.
not brought up the same way. Some people are brought up to be expressive. Now, for me, I don't have any problem. If you like me, not now anyway. If you
Yeah,
like
but
me,
just one
yeah,
word.
if you like me and you say, oh, I like your doings, in fact, I will feel very, how do I put, I will feel very
compliment?
honored.
Okay.
Yes, I see it as being honored.
Okay.
You know, why should that make me look at the woman as that you say you see something you like and you like it? That's a problem.
No, but
You
I
know?
think it's coming from this point, like if he said, what did you say just now? That approaching a man and like
showing
that-
him
yes,
without speaking.
No, without speaking, that you must not necessarily say, even if you don't say it, and the man notice that you are having crush on him, you're having feelings, or you want something to happen between the
two of
both of you. The mentality there is not all men that has that exposure that it is also okay for a woman to walk up to a man and say,
It is very
hey
okay
guy,
for me.
what's up? I like
Very,
you. Can
very
we have
okay.
something? Can
Very,
we start
very okay.
something?
May I
Not
ask?
every they have this mentality that how a woman, how can you be doing that? Allow me.
Do you know?
Let
Do
me,
you
the
know?
man,
Do you know that
come
in
and
furtherance
do
to that,
it.
there are women too that are single today at a very old age, not because nobody approached them, but because when somebody that they like approached them, they still wanted to show this chastity and pushed it
Hard
beyond
to
boundaries.
get.
Oh yes,
Play
yeah,
hard
they
to
play hard
get.
to get.
Yes.
They play hard to
So
get.
let's loosen up. For me, there's no hard and fast rule to it because I know when you see somebody you like, somebody that's attracted to you, it's irresistible. And when
I
you
love
do,
that word.
and when you do resist, you'll regret it later.
Yeah.
No,
Because
no.
love,
I haven't regretted.
Hey,
Okay.
Dr. If you saw you, it has.
It's okay.
Yes.
You like the person.
hold back. There's a
Okay.
way you hold yourself in because you're not sure the man's orientation.
This is a confession
Exactly.
class.
You know, you're a different
You said somebody
person.
offered you.
Exactly.
I just
You
love
hold
the way
yourself
I'm.
in.
I'm seeing so many
No,
sides to you
exactly,
guys.
because when you
hold
said
yourself in.
when you said
So you don't fall for the wrong person.
yeah, so when you said someone who likes you approach the lady and
if
the
it's
lady is
mutual.
acting.
That's what I'm saying. I think when it is mutual,
Yes.
somebody approaches you and
There's
you like the
something
person, the
called
person
green
likes you. I'm
light.
coming now.
There's something
Somebody
called
likes you,
green
you
light.
like the person. At the end of the day, because you want to posture, you know you like the person,
But you
but
have
you
to
now
do
steal
that.
your mind and then
After
you lose
that,
the
then
person.
You have to like show that you're a woman.
No, but you still
I'm not
have to
easy
do that
to
as a
get.
woman.
Yeah,
You don't just
can
use
give
using
it
it.
Yes.
Yes.
But may I also add that there are marriages
Some people are
today
blind to
that
green
the
light
women, the woman was the one that walked up to the man and they're living happily ever after.
Yeah.
as a couple. Yes,
Sure.
there are some.
In this Nigeria.
Yes, in this
Yes, in
Nigeria.
this Nigeria.
Okay.
You see, if he belongs to the old school.
Yes, and you belong to the new school.
No, I belong to the new. When it comes to some
you
of these
belong
things,
to the new school.
when it comes to some of these, I have a level of open-mindedness to
Yeah.
them.
So you're liberal.
Maybe because of my
I'm
studies.
really
You're trying to
surprised
say you're
hearing this
conservative.
from him. I'm surprised hearing this.
She's
You're conserved.
You don't
Very
know.
conservative.
Okay.
I'm happy
I
hearing this
was
from you.
expecting you
Anyway.
to be the conservative, not the
No,
woman.
I'm not.
I
Please
can see that.
go ahead with your.
Anyway,
Works for the men, not to be. Go ahead,
yeah,
my darling.
I like that, and it's true. Let's talk about how Portable was beating Black and Blue. This Saturday at the Baltimore Convention Center, Victoria Island in Lagos. This fight is happened between him and actor Charles Okocha. So there's this thing that in the entertainment industry, if you have a beef with someone, they will bring both of you together to fight it out. Box it out, actually, not wrestle. Box it out. And this Saturday, the past Saturday, saw Portable and Charles Okocha in the ring. As it progresses, we saw that we saw that Portable ran off the ring, and Charles Okocha was declared winner by default because he didn't come back into the ring. And then, when asked why, he later came out to say that it was because Charles Okocha beat him.
blue and black.
No, bit him with a stick.
Oh my!
Okay.
No way.
Bit him. So he showed an injury that people on netizens on in social media, Twitter, and also on X. I'm yet to start calling it X. Twitter forever for me though. And Instagram said that the wound that he showed that was caused or inflicted by Charles Okocha is not actually a new injury. It's old. It's not a fresh wound. So now, Portable is saying that Charles wasn't boxing. That he was in Gidigbo. Which he said is Gidigbo, which is wrestling.
What does that mean?
It's Yoruba for beating. It's wrestling. So please let's check out the clips of how he survived this near-death experience.
I'm sure he won't get close to him ever again.
It was a near-death experience. Let's check out the clips.
Body snake, breakfast snake, many with the one leg. Requested, unruly, badly, be prime, do me bad budget, as a ride with hip more folks cannot keep up. Bitch, I be going non-stop. Zazu, she, Aka, Ika, there's Sojo Vitalaga, Gaza, Ejaluju Vitabacha, Nujupa. Lejupa, Mary, Kala, Daju.
Oh, he's coming out.
It's coming
One
out
is
again.
coming out. Somebody grab him.
Coming out again.
Oh, he's up. Portable's down.
He keeps
Portable
losing
has
his cool.
just mounted. He's walked into the audience once again. This time with a different look in his eyes.
I don't know what he's doing there. He's gone up to the front of some major celebrities right there.
He's celebrating after securing 2 takedowns in a boxing match and walking out after the first round.
But he needs to go back to the ring. He needs to get back into the ring. If you want to prove yourself.
So you can see that it was a near-death experience for him.
No name out Portable gets finally.
He ran off him. He literally ran off.
Match between two of them now.
What do you mean? You expected Charles Okocha to beat him?
No, there's no match. Yes, the weight difference is too much now. They shouldn't have started the fight between
No,
them.
now he fought with Kata Ife, who is very
more huge and bigger than
Charles Okocha.
Charles has even reduced his
Yes,
size.
absolutely. I do agree.
Yes.
I mean, this is where I want to end it.
Stamina as well.
What do you
Stamina,
mean?
not necessarily weight.
It's Mr. Phenomenal. That guy is naturally mad. In Charles Okocha.
Okay.
He's always this ginger. He's very.
I won't get close to him.
Yeah, I wouldn't get close to him on a bad day. On a bad day, you should avoid Charles Okocha. On a good day, he's your friend.
But that is
Hey, bro.
That is no way of doing this thing now.
No. Off camera, he's like that.
That's him off camera.
I'm telling you that I've seen him off camera. He's always like that. This is not a personality. Like a personality in front of the camera is his personality every day.
Okay.
So what caused this fight? What's actually caused this beef between them was that I think around 2024, Portable was saying that Charles was not who he said he is. Like, he just came for Charles. It's always Portable that come for people, which I don't understand why. They'll put you in the ring, you run off. But they'll take you out of the ring, you start talking.
How do they consider the idea of settling beef with boxing?
Well, this is what we call entertainment.
Okay.
So if you say it's not only Twitter rants, come and show us what you have.
Yes.
You're a man. Come and show us. And also, people are making money around this.
Yes.
So, I mean, it's a win-win for everybody.
Yes.
All right,
Never
Kira.
bet
I warned you that when Kira comes, it's going to be soft. And I think you had a good laugh with that. I don't know whether it was a mock fight or a refight, but it was a bout and interesting. Well, Kira, thank you for being there. Of course, Ify and the Success, thank you. We're having a good time in the studio. Not forgetting that today is a big event in Delta State, even the state capital, Asaba, at the Dome Event Center, where the state government is mounting Delta State Economic and Investment Summit. We'll be going there when the need arises to, bring you up to speed what is happening there. But for now, keep viewing our program. Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives. Welcome back. From that soft ground, we are moving over to business. Louisa Asidi is already in the studio.
Good morning, sir.
I don't know when we're going to eat this donut on your head. So looking very appetizing.
Oh, thank you.
I'm sure you want to sell because you're the business guru.
Yes,
Yes,
it's part of
I
business.
would sell it.
Yeah. You would, or you won't?
I would.
Okay.
I would sell it.
All right. That's how we welcome Louisa to the studio. What's in your business crate today?
Okay, let's start at the pump because there's been some real drama there these past months. The Dangote refinery, Africa's biggest, briefly began pricing fuel in dollars instead of naira. The petrol was going for under $1 a litre. Then, just over a week later, they reversed course and went back to naira. So why the flip-flop? Nigeria simply isn't pumping enough crude to keep up with its own ambition. The country is producing about 1.6 million barrels a day right now, the most since 2020. But Dangote's refinery alone needs over 500,000 of those barrels every single day. This, however, doesn't leave a huge cushion for everyone else. Now, here's the part that actually hits your wallet. Every 100 naira added to a litre of petrol adds around 12,000 naira a month to an average family's fuel bill. And that's before transport fares or generator diesel even come into it. Analysts think we could see more of these swings over the next year, so it might be worth building a little wiggle room into your budget just in case. Now, here's a bigger picture story that actually explains a lot of what we just talked about. Nigeria's total public debt just hit a new high, crossing 159 trillion naira, and it's still climbing. Think of it like a household that's borrowing more each year just to cover the basis. For every 100 naira the government brings in, more than 70 goes straight to paying off debt. Not roads, not hospitals, not schools. That's what economists call shrinking fiscal space, and it's part of why things like subsidies and infrastructure spending keeps getting harder to fund. However, there is good news. New tax reforms kicked in this year aimed at growing government revenue, which could ease some of that pressure over the next couple of years. Now, let's shift to something that you can actually do this morning: your own emergency fund. Financial advisors still say the gold standard is 3 to 6 months of living expenses saved up. But let's be honest, with the cost of living right now, that can feel completely out of reach for a lot of households. So here's the more practical version experts recommend. Start with just 5 to 15% of your income. Even 5% is a solid start. And keep it somewhere you can actually get to quickly, like a regular savings account or money market fund, rather than something like treasury bills that lock your money away. The biggest mistake advisors say isn't saving too little. It's not starting at all. So even if 6 months' worth feels miles away right now, starting small and staying consistent is really what builds that safety net over time.
Well, thank you for that. But I'm coming from this angle now. Our indebtedness as a nation climbing every day. And we are talking about this one, 70% of it going straight to
paying off the debt.
Paying off the debt.
Yes, rather than trying to build up the educational sector or, the hospitals, doing roads, infrastructure. It's not going to that. Instead,
I have problem with that. But I have more problem with the fact that you are saying that tax reforms will now put more money in government. How much money does it put in the workers' wallet?
That's
because I don't see that as good news. The good news is for government.
Yeah,
to
it could
still
be
keep
a good news because maybe they would be able to pay off the debt faster than usual, which will in turn help the citizens. Because if they're able to pay off that debt, and then they can concentrate on the things that actually matter, the vital things in the country right now. You can see they don't pull that money into schools. They don't put that money into the hospitals. You can go to a government hospital and you are like, why am I even here? You see a lot of things going wrong. There's never enough medical appliances over there. Everything is always going wrong. You see people dying unnecessarily just because, there was not enough blood.
But let's be realistic.
Yes.
taking the money. My phone is taking the money from the individual who is already grinding under the weight of indebtedness to go and make how am I sure that they will not take from us now? We are borrowing from Peter to pay Paul.
Riding on the back of that, you'll respond to that. But also, as a country, realistically, have we had governments who were quick to pay off our debts? Or do we have a government or subsequent governments that have passed on debts to subsequent administrations? What has been our reality as a country? Is it possible that a government or a Nigerian government will focus on paying off debt so they can focus on infrastructural growth? What is our reality?
I think right now their priority would be paying off debt. You can see it from the statistics. Their priority is to pay off those debts that they owe.
Have they stopped borrowing?
No, they haven't stopped owing. They haven't stopped owing. But they need
stopped
to pay
borrowing. They haven't even stopped borrowing.
They need to pay off that debt so that the interest rate, it doesn't increase over time. So they need to pay off those debts before they start thinking of any other thing. It's quite sad, but that's the reality.
So we should stop borrowing, as it were.
Yes, that's in the final analysis. That's what they should do. They should stop borrowing and look inward on how we can manage ourselves. Because the problem is, even in our homes, we don't have this habit of managing. Times are hard. You are still insisting that 5 children should fry 5 eggs for breakfast. Can't 5 children eat 3 eggs? Some people will come for my neck. But that's how to streamline. There's a time to abound. There's a time to abase. We know that these are high times, but people still want to live up to whether at government level or family level or personal level. I was saying the other day that I don't have any to buy any new suits, and it's like that's the truth. Because what am I doing with it? It's not going to bring any extra value to me.
To you, yes.
But there are other areas of interest that I need to spend money for as a man of a home, for instance. So I think the bottom line is all of us, both government and the people, we should learn to cut our coat according to our clothes.
Yes. And even in the home, you were talking about the practical tips you gave us about saving. I think that's that's something that I'm going to jump on personally, because we find that mostly we budget what is left after spending. Yes. Instead of budgeting before spending, can you talk to us about how that makes us perpetually down?
When you budget before spending, you have a wider idea on how the money will be spent. Because if you're just spending, you're just collecting, nothing is being put in. But if you save, for example, you have 150,000, you remove 50 and keep it.
That's much.
Just for a start, you can't keep 50. Just to keep it aside in case.
Okay, keep it aside, not save it. Because what I understand by saying is lock it up.
Oh no, that's the mistake people make.
Different.
Do
Yes.
not lock it up.
That's also what she
Those
addressed.
treasuries.
Do not lock it up. Keep it close to you. That's why I said keep it aside.
Okay.
So it's still like you are saving it,
For the
but
rainy
it's
day.
aside for the
something
rainy day.
more better priority.
Yes, and then you calculate what are the things that I need. Let me remove them out and see how much I will spend from the 100,000 that's left. And then when you remove the cost of those things, the remaining costs, you know that, oh, this is how much I have left. Let's say, for example, you have like 40,000 naira left. You see, okay, let me see how I can be able to spend this money throughout this month. And if you, along the line, you will notice that you have a better way to spend the money, because obviously, if you have the knowledge to keep 50,000 aside and to keep a cost for your necessities, that 40,000 is for things that are not really necessary.
Incidentals.
Okay.
So even if you touch the 50,000 you left behind, you won't take everything. Maybe like 10,000.
And you won't touch it anyhow.
You wouldn't touch it anyhow.
Okay.
And I think another way of, Nigerians saving at these critical times that we are right now, because it's worked for me. So I also want to suggest it to, the citizens as well, or other persons. So you can have a 150,000 now. And okay, you look at this, because one thing you should know is not allowing everything that are of essentials to you to, completely go off at a time. It will be strenuous for you.
Yes.
So you can pick this one. Okay, you fix this one this month. After keeping that your 50K outside, then you fix this one. You fix this one. And so, okay, next month, I'll fix this one.
Yes.
I'll fix this one. So you still have extra to save and, have 50 for your daily expenses. Outside that, your first 50K budget, you have another 50 for your daily expenses. Then this other 50, you fix one, two, three of your essentials right now. Keep the other for the next month. So everything don't go off at a time. It will become bulky and, much of expenses for you to look into at the point in time. So it helps you save over the months. It helps you save more over the months and, look into some things to, you don't go broke. And like that, experts say that you don't go and lock up your funds in treasury bills. But if you have enough, more than enough, if you have it in abundance, then you can also think of, putting into treasury bills. Yes. And also buying little shares. Coca-Cola sells shares that are, of little amount and all that. Okay. Sorry about that. But I'm just, saying that these are other companies you can look into to buy shares. You understand? And, keep your funds growing gradually.
All right, I can see that we're all financially smart in this, place. Thank you, Louisa, for your package. And then thank you for the information. We'll learn to keep some money aside when we get salary.
Keep some money aside.
I will now know the ratio to keep. And then
to be on the safe side.
Believing that my wife will not come up with something that is very, for women, it's always here and
now.
That does it for Business Beat on our Morning Dew. When we come back, we'll go to other areas. Stay with us. Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives. Wake up with us every morning.
We bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives.
A 14-year-old Asaba boy traveled to China as part of Nigeria's spelling bee contingent. And he came back to Nigeria and to Delta State, not just as the boy who left earlier, but as the world spelling bee champion. Welcome to this interaction with our spelling bee champion, Chinedu Great Okediachi.
Thank you.
You're indeed great. Give me a high five. Wow. So how do you feel? I mean, a lot has happened since you came back. Just tell me how you feel first.
Okay, I feel happy that everybody were excited and happy, and they welcomed me when I came back. And our royal father, the Asaba Osama, he gave me a scholarship. I feel really happy about that. Our governor gave me a cash prize of 20 million.
Wow.
I'm really happy. I'm really happy about that. As everybody welcomed me when I was coming from the airport, everybody came and welcomed me, and they were very excited. I was really very, very happy.
Oh my gosh, a lot has happened. We're going to just unpack all that has happened. As you've said, not just has the state honored you, the royal father of Asaba, who is himself a professor, has also honored you with scholarship. A lot has happened. You're 20 million naira richer as well, courtesy of the education-loving governor of Delta State, Governor Sheriff Oberewori. Before we go into what that means to you, let's talk about this journey. Who is Chinedu Great Okediachi? Tell us about your school, maybe your parents. Give us a background about you.
Okay, my name is Chinedu Great Okediachi. I'm 14 years. I'm in SS2.
Okay.
The name of my school is Madonna International College. The name of my parents are Mr. Comrade Obeshi Obodo Okediachi.
Okay.
Then the name of my mom is Mrs. Okediachi Onyechukwu Promise.
They must be so proud of you.
Yes, they are.
What did your mom make for you when you came back?
If I can remember, I think she cooked jollof rice for me when I came back. I was very, very enjoyable.
Awesome, awesome. So now let's start with, where did this journey start? At what point did you notice that you could do this?
Well, actually in my JSS3, when I actually liked English.
Okay.
That's all primary school. So in my JSS3, I found out that they were going for a spelling bee. So I decided to volunteer and test myself.
You volunteered?
Yes, I volunteered. Test myself because of my love for English and other English-related subjects. So I reasoned that I'm just try and test myself. So as I went for the state qualifiers, as I won the state qualifiers, I reasoned that I had the talent in spelling. So I think that's what started everything.
Okay, so you actually found yourself out. You discovered it. It wasn't a teacher. It wasn't your father. It was you. You noticed that you love the English language and you decided to volunteer to participate and represent your school. So after you won the state level, what happened up until this time?
After I won the state level, we went for...
When was that? What year?
Okay, the state level was March 2025. That was
okay, last year. Okay,
yes.
Okay.
Then we went for the nationals. I think that was in July 2025, the same last year. We went for the nationals. Then after the nationals, we went for the Africa. I think there was an issue, so they had to postpone it to this year. So we did the African Spelling Bee March 26th, this year, March 25th this year. Then after the African Spelling Bee, they gave us a notice that they want to do the first ever Spelling Bee World Cup that will be hosted.
Okay, this is the first ever.
Yeah.
Are you serious? Give me a high five. Wow. So talk to us about, this is the very first time. No one, I thought it's been happening all this while. So it's the first. So talk to us about how you got to become one of the first, because I'm sure that this is the gold category. You know, this is a gold award. So talk to us about how you went to China. What led to it?
Okay, after the African Spelling Bee, during the African Spelling Bee, we came out the first one out.
Let's take this slowly. You at the African level, you were already part of Nigeria's contingent, right?
Yes.
How many were you?
We're 5.
Okay, 5. So at that level, you people came out first runners up. All right, go ahead.
Then after the African Spelling Bee, we thought that like it had ended. Then we got a notification that we have been invited for the first ever Spelling Bee World Cup held in Shanghai, China. So we made preparations towards it. We were asking for funding and money because it was actually a huge amount for traveling and all our logistics. So to the point that one of our teammates couldn't go due to lack of funding. So one of our teammates from Lagos, he couldn't go.
Oh my.
So
nobody represented Lagos?
No.
Oh.
So then we did some fundings. The Referee of Asaba, he funded me.
The Asaba funded you?
Yes, our Delta State government, they still funded us and made sure that our bill was covered. So I think
when you say I thought it was just you. Who else?
Me and my coach.
Okay. So who was your coach?
His name is Mr. Obiosai Droma.
Yeah, I need to know at what point did he begin coaching you?
He began coaching me since the state qualifiers.
Once you qualified for the state,
yes,
you were taken up by the state. So the Delta State Ministry of Higher Education was intentional with taking ownership of it, and perhaps they saw the victory, don't you think?
Yeah, I think they saw the victory.
Okay. Yeah, and then he began coaching you. So what was it? What were some of the drills that you had to go through? You can give some secrets out to your mates out there.
Okay, he gave me, for every stage, national, the African, and the world cross-spelling bee, he gave me a guide, a list of words that I can read. Sometimes, because I'm a boarder in my school.
Okay.
So sometimes he use his phone he will give me his phone so that I can look for the meaning of the words or the pronunciation of the words.
Is he a teacher in your school?
No, he's the managing director
of your school.
Yes.
Okay, so at that point, because you had gone to the state level, the managing director of your school began to coach you personally.
Yes.
So the school also took ownership of it.
Yes.
All right. So he'll give you word list and what more?
Yes.
What more?
He still he took some time to teach me some English words and some words that came from another origin. Okay. So he also gave me his phone to look for the meaning of words. He took me through many things that helped me in all my spelling bees. It took me to many things that actually helped me.
Okay, so it's not really you're giving us an insider detail. It's not just about knowing words. It's also about knowing their origin and knowing what they mean.
Yes.
Just tell us a bit more about what it takes to become a world spelling bee champion like you.
Okay, what it takes is that we actually have to take your free time to read, to practice, because you can't only practice 1 hour or 2 hours a day. It will not work. And you have to talk to your free time. Not every time that you play, even though sometimes you can play, because they say that all work and no play make Jackie dull boy. So sometimes you have to play, but most times you have to take your free time to read your spelling bee words and practice English words that come from another origin, words that have meaning, because you can use meaning to know the spelling of the word. So you look for the sentence, pronunciation, language of origin. So you look for those are the key things that you look for in a word to know how to spell the word correctly.
Awesome. So at the level when you had to travel, you did mention to us that you were graciously sponsored by the Royal Father of Asaba, who funded your trip as well as the state government. So when you then joined Team Nigeria, what was the trip to China like? Was it the first time you were leaving Nigeria?
No, actually, it was not the first time I was leaving Nigeria, because we went to Zimbabwe for the African.
Okay, for the African.
Yes, okay. And I think when I was 8 years, I went to Cameroon.
Oh,
because I have a family in Cameroon. I have my cousins are in Cameroon, so I went there to stay with them. So it's not the first time.
The third time.
Yes, it's the third time.
But this time to Asia.
Yes.
So how did you feel?
So I felt good. Well, I felt sick at sometimes because I was staying in a plane for 10 hours straight. Is a stressful thing, and China had change of environment too. I was having some stomach pains based on change of environment, and China's timeline is different with Nigeria's timeline. So in the night when I'm meant to feel sleepy, I might feel energetic. But in the morning when I'm meant to feel energetic, I might feel sleepy. So I think that was some of the problems I had in China.
All right, let's move away from problems, because I'm sure that you made friends, you networked. What about their food? What are the brighter sides of your trip to China?
Okay, the bright side is that foods are good, they are cultural. Like if
Okay.
you see that foods, you can know yes, they are 100% Chinese.
Wow.
Although there was a place for Chinese cuisine and there was a place for international cuisine where they can serve food from all over the country. But the Chinese cuisine, I usually go there to test new foods, and the food is actually good and sweet. But there are some foods that Nigeria, China is a cultural place. You see people speaking Chinese, the place is hot, and you can see like logos or more things than Chinese are Chinese written. So when you go to China, you will mostly see that things are Chinese. You can know yes, this is really a Chinese place.
All right. Now, talk to us about how you were able to. Did you meet other people from other countries? What was it like, really?
Yes, I met other people from other countries. I made friends. I met people from China, Japan, and other countries like America, India, and other countries. So I made friends with them. Although I couldn't get their numbers because they use different
Country
numbers.
codes
Yes,
and the
yes,
likes.
yes. And they don't use WhatsApp. They use something called WeChat, and it's a very stressful, very stressful app to open. So, but I made friends with people from Bangladesh, different countries. I made friends with them, and we talked and we collaborated. We worked together and we did other.
Please bear with us as we abridge that interview, as we head back to the Dome Event Center, Asaba, venue of the ongoing Delta Investment Summit. For more interviews, our crew is standing by.
In front of that speaker. The speaker. Yeah.
There's no speaker in that.
The speaker gets audio.
This audio speaker. This small one.
We're going to be bringing you all the highlights. We are aware that the summit is about to begin because the host is already right there. Dott TV crew is standing by to give us all the updates, and hopefully we'll be bringing you the live streaming of that historic milestone event happening live at the Dome Event Center in Asaba, Delta State. We already know as well that the keynote speaker, we know that she's already there. We're talking about a great daughter of not just this part of the country, but a great export from Africa. We're talking of Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, the Director General of the World Trade Organization. She's already there. Now we're switching back to the Dome Event Center for more updates.
Is this speaker? Right? This speaker. We are working. I just want to check something. It's about the speakers. I want to check the speakers. Yes.
From the front, I want to see whether I can change it. Okay, no, well, I'll log on to it.
Of course, we are set to bring you the highlights and perhaps the entirety of what's about to happen there at the venue of the highly anticipated Delta State Economic and Investment Summit 2026. We see that the ground is set. A lot is going to happen today, and this is just day one of the summit. We already know that it's going to run for a period of 3 days, 3rd, 4th, and 5th of August 2026. Earlier today, we brought you interviews as our crew members interacted with some guests and expatriates from across the country who are already on ground. We also heard from Mr. Sonny Ekedaing, that's the Commissioner for Economic Planning here in Delta State, who gave us a brief intro or summary of his takeaways from what's already happening there and what to look forward to. This is still Morning Dew, and shortly we'll be back definitely to conclude the program, but at intervals we'll be shuttling between the live studio of Dott TV and that venue of the event. We of course know that Africa's greatest orator, Professor Patrick Mulumba, is already there. We of course know as well that the Vice President of Nigeria, Vice President Kashim Shettima, is also expected to be in attendance. The conversation will span what it takes to harness the enormous strength of Delta State of Nigeria, the big heart, and how to maximize the potentials of this great state, given its central position, not just about location, but of course, talking about natural resources, human resources as well, and the more agenda, which is the blueprint for the development of the state. These are all going to be on the table at the investment summit as stakeholders point out what more should be done to position Delta beyond oil. Of course, we are back to Morning Dew at this time, and the crew is here. We are taking the feeds, looking at what everyone is saying, and the governor already there. That should tell you that the governor means business. He's there way ahead of the startup time.
Yes, of course, this is not the time for African time. You know that when things like this happen, it exposes us to the outside world. On a day like this, the governor cannot afford to be busier, cannot afford to have any other thing that he's doing. This is the first event, this is the most important event, and to show that it's a serious event, he has to be there on time. He did well, though I have found out that that is his usual person. If he always, shows up on schedule for
always
every
on
event.
time.
Yes, always on time. Yeah. So at the end of the day, we are doing good because it's leading by example by what is happening. It's leading by example by showing up on time, and so we hope that members of his cabinet should also be there. Everybody that has a role to play should also be there. You can see the stage is set. And of course, it is to say that Delta means business.
Absolutely.
With this summit.
The Commissioner for Economic Planning, of course, we know that this is his immediate purview, is already there. We, of course, saw as well that the SSG is already there. And indeed, everyone is set to have this conversation. Earlier, we talked to the chairperson of the NUJ, who also told us what the media should focus on, some of the issues that should be topical. I was also looking at the potential, because some of these companies who are here to look at the potentials are likely going to come into Delta.
Okay.
When we talk about media sustainability, is it possible that some media houses can begin to position, to network with the right people who will later do business with them? Because all these organizations, everybody needs publicity.
Yeah, the issue is the event, just like the NUJ chairman said, should not be made to be a one-stop shop or just a talk shop or a talk stop. You can just talk and it ends there. We should look at this thing being a trigger for a new Delta in terms of development, in terms of harnessing our huge natural resources, because the focus on oil is not even, we say we're a mono economy. The oil is not even helping Delta, if you ask me, because you take the oil to the federal. And then, of course, you are sharing money based on derivation. So Delta, you give
13%.
Delta a bigger share. No, there are many things that can come off this because Delta is hosting this huge natural resource. You know. So I'm sure they are getting set to have us back to the studio.
That's right.
To the event center.
Our crew members are there, and soon enough we'll hear from Priscilla Ifani, who will give us what's the latest ahead of the full commencement of the Delta State Economic and Investment Summit.
All right.
As also said. Please hold on. Are we good? Yeah. Oh, good. Welcome back once again to the Dome Event Center, the venue for the Delta Economic and Investment Summit. As you can see behind me, the event is really packed. The Governor, Sheriff Oburu, will be seated. One of the guest speakers, Dr. Konjiwala, just walked in, but also have Patrick Lumumba also seated. And also, if you look over there, you see some investors from China and Brazil who are seated and are going to be part of this program. And we are seeing how well they can be able to harness these various resources that the Delta State government is showcasing today. Like I said earlier, the sectors are cutting across the blue economy, the marine, aquaculture, livestock, oil and mining, hospitality, and also real estate. So indeed, there's a lot to be talked about on this program this morning, and we are watching to see if after this investment summit, these investors are going to keep to their investment and not just going to say hearsay. I am Priscilla Ifani, and I will bring you the details. Don't touch the dial. Keep watching Dott Television.
We're on the brink of history. Thank you so much, Priscilla Ifani, for keeping us up to speed. Thanks as well to our crew members. That picture quality is amazing. We're still fine-tuning the sound, and definitely we're getting right
trying
there.
to set the standard there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think at this point we will be ending our program so that we'll leave you with the people to run the commentary on what is going on. Well, viewer, that has been our program on Morning Dew this morning. Of course, we have been shuttling between the venue of the major event happening in the state and, of course, running our program here in the studio. Ify has been here. What is your takeaway today?
It's been great. Anything that is not the Delta Economic and Investment Summit, I don't know. Okay. So yes, we're looking forward to a great time of learning and seeing how we can tap into the enormous potential of Delta. I'm very interested in investing in Delta State as well.
That's all right.
I may not be a big investor, but don't be surprised.
Success.
Yes, today has been a wonderful day. It has been a day of impactful ideas and discussions, and looking into the Delta Economic and Investment Summit is a huge one for Delta State, and the governor of Delta State bringing in investors to look into the economic opportunities in the state and which area to take off on investing on and bringing about creating job opportunities for Deltans as well. This is a
Yes, that's Dr. It's not moving.
Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome the Honorable Minister of Finance, Professor Taiwo Idede, who is arrived here now, and all the ministers of the federal government that are here. We welcome all of you. Please let's settle down. His Excellency, the Vice President will soon be here. His Excellency, the Vice President will soon be here. Let's take our seats and settle down.
Your mic, you go near speaker so that you will feel the hear. Or give them make interview.
What if I want interview?
No talk. Oh. Sorry, the papa box give me for body show. Still not cover.
Stick around quite long enough to make it. I apologize once again, I'm not enough. But it's not as if I mind that your heart ain't exactly breaking. It's just a thought, only a thought. If my life is for rent and I don't want to buy, well, I deserve nothing more than I get, 'cause nothing I have is true enough. I always thought that I would love to live by the sea, to travel the world alone and live more simply. I have no idea what's happening to that tree, as there's really nothing left here to stop me. It's just a thought.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Honourable Commissioner for Finance and Chairman of the College of Commissioners, Wefi Diokpa, South Fidelis Region.
After sun, nothing more than I get. There's nothing I have is truly mine. If my life is glorious, and I don't want to buy, after sun,
We're going to take a stop. Please, as I greet you specially, Right Honorable from Kakame Solomon, Senior Policy Advisor. We welcome you. Pastor, I greet you specially, the man in charge of our free trade zone. I thought a while ago, I saw the Honorable Nicholas Mutu, and of course, the Honorable Ngozi Okolie, Senator Stella Omo, Chief Nkemokwafu, Abu Wine, Dr. Julius Rone, OFR, MGC, UTM. We welcome you specially. Yes, indeed. Let me welcome our leaders, Right Honorable Festus Obiagas, and of course, Comrade Ofusoria Makole. I greet you, all our council chairmen. You have, I welcome all of you, Chairman Algon, Okakuro Isaiah Showa. I can also see the Honorable Pastor Dakiri and Elder Ogoruba. Warrior of okay, I greet you. The Reverend Kosfini Udoka is the resident pastor house on the rock. We welcome you. For emphasis, Chief Solomon Awenka. Chief Solomon Awenka is the chairman, APC Delta. Itiako Bobo, the one we call Malik, is also in the house. Jaro Ebo, I welcome you. Anytime now, His Excellency, the Vice President will be here with us. Ladies and gentlemen, I have Yes, indeed, I can tell from the movement that His Excellency, the Vice President, has arrived. And anytime now we'll be stepping in. His Excellency, Senator Kazim Chatima, GCON, Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, has arrived. I can see in the hosts, His Excellency, the Right Honorable Elder Sharif Obarwani, the Governor of Delta State. There with him. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed, the most loyal and intelligent Vice President in the world. His Excellency, the Senator, Kazim Shatima, GCON. Thank you very much, pressmen. Can you please clear front of the state box so that we can start off? Thank you. Please clear front of the state box, let His Excellency. Now that their Excellencies are here, we shall take the shall we all rise for the national anthem. Thank you very much. While we remain standing, let me invite the chairman, Khan, to please step forward for the opening prayer. Let us pray. Our gracious, loving Father, we thank you for another day you have brought to us. Thank you for the traveling mercies you have granted to us all from far and near. Lord, we acknowledge you as our source in Delta. We therefore commit these 3 days into your hands. We ask, dear Lord, that you will take control. We pray for every participants and the facilitators, that you may endow us with wisdom. Wisdom like you gave to Solomon, so that the outcome, the learning outcomes, the results from this investment, economic and investment summit will be such that we bring about greater progress for the good people of Delta State nation. Thank you for hearing us. For in Jesus' precious name we pray. Amen.
Please, let's be seated. Your Excellency, the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency Senator Kashim Shettima GCON. Let me welcome very specially the wonderful, dynamic, and hardworking Governor of Delta State, Right Honorable Elder Sharif Obarwani. I'd like to thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. I'd like to welcome the honorable ministers that are here, and I can see the honorable Minister of Finance in our midst and other members of the Federal Executive Council that are here. Let me welcome the Deputy Governor of the state, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, and other members of the Delta State House of Assembly, the Chief Judge, and all the members of the State Judiciary that are here. I'd like to welcome the special daughter of the nation, the Director General of the World Trade Organization, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala. I welcome you. Our keynote speaker is here, born in Africa, known all over the world, a pride of the continent, Dr. Pierlo Lumumba. I welcome you to Nigeria. Let me welcome all the members of the business community, captains of industry that are here, members of the diplomatic corps, development partners, captains of industry, our royal fathers, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Your Excellencies, there are moments in the life of every society that define not merely its present, but because of its future. Moments when vision rises above ambition, when leadership meets opportunity, when ideas find investment, and when possibilities become prosperity. Today is one of those moments. Today we gather not simply to inaugurate another summit, we gather to unveil a bold economic vision, to strengthen strategic partnerships, to inspire confidence. Delta State has made it very clear they are ready for business, for us to unlock the potentials of the state and bring prosperity to the people. My name is very young, and we have four here that will anchor this event. We have Pastor Powell, who started. We have a medical doctor who is one of the finest media and communication persons in the country, Dr. And then we have the queen of the microphone. I welcome all of you. Four of us will anchor this event today. But let me welcome the Secretary to the Government of the State and the Chairman of the Planning Committee, Dr. Kingsley Eze-Emo.
Speaker, the chairman of the summit, and other distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please permit me to stand on the already established protocol. My simple task here is just to welcome you to Delta State and introduce you to Delta as well as its economy. Delta State sits on 18,050 square kilometers. 60% of it is land and 40% is water. Your guess is as good as mine what this distribution or categorization presents in terms of opportunities. We have 7 ethnic nationalities. You have the Robo, you have the Isokos, you have the Shekelis, you have the Jaws, you have the Anyoma and Oshimele, and you have the Kaz. This diversity lies our strength because all the cultural presentations are put in one spot to make us thicker and better as a state. And that's why we are often referred to as a mini Nigeria. We have 4 seaports, Warri, Koko, Botu, and Saple. We have 2 airports, Asaba, an international airport, and Warri. Our population is about 6.2%, 6.2 million. And then we have 60% of them youthful and under 30. And that presents a lot of opportunities and also a lot of challenges in terms of job creation and other attendant requirements. So we're truly working on these statistics to see how we can get to the next level. We're second list poor state in 2020 by MBS. We're also second best run government in Nigeria only recently and only behind Kaduna State. And I'm sure that by the next dispensation, when that evaluation will be done,
Delta State, Dr. Kingsley Emu, live on stage there at the Delta State Economic and Investment Summit, welcoming our investors and stakeholders from across the country in his capacity as the chairman of the planning committee for this historic summit. We lost a bit of audio there. Please bear with us as we try to rectify that and get back to it, to hear why this summit is important from the man who planned the experience with his team. Do not forget that this is a big day in Delta State, the big heart, because the state is hosting investors from across the world and around the country and other parts of Africa at the historic Delta State Economic and Investment Summit. We've also seen we'll head back to the summit venue to continue listening to the SSG.
Here you have a big opportunity for investors to come in. We have the digital economy and innovation. Our youths will be displaying their skills and the potential that they have for investors to come on by tomorrow when we have the plenary session here. And then Delta Special Economic Zone presents an important platform for us to run. We are situated on 3,600 hectares of land, and that's very significant. 2,600 in cocoa axis and 997, about 1,000 in the Kwale area. So gas is an abundance. What we are selling to the world is not only just the availability of that gas, we are also saying that the state has made significant development in the Delta Special Economic Zone. It's a tourist delight and investors' delight. So on this note, I'd like to welcome you to Delta State, its economy and the people. Welcome and thank you.
Our special thanks to the Secretary to the State Government of Delta. We thank you for opening our eyes to see indeed the reason why we're here and all that we partake of and from as a investors in the economy of Delta State. Please appreciate Dr. Kingsley Emu for his welcome remarks. Whilst he was speaking, the governor of Anambra State walked in. I would like to say good morning and welcome to Professor Charles Sondo. Please say good morning with me. Welcome, sir. Before we hear from the summit chair, I'll welcome the chairman of the Health and Safety Committee of the summit to give us a safety briefing as we proceed in today's summit. Welcome Dr. Apowaye Apomele as he makes his way to stage. If your hands are free, please receive him with an applause.
Thank you very much. Your Excellency, the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Senator Kashim Shettima, GCON, Your Excellency, the Executive Governor of Delta State, Right Honorable Sheriff Obeyeye, please permit me to stand on established protocol. On behalf of the Health and Safety Committee, I welcome you to the 2026 Delta State Economic and Investment Summit. Before we commence today's proceedings, I would like to take a few moments of your time to highlight some important safety information. Your safety and well-being remains our highest priority all throughout the summit. Please take note of the following. We do have medical personnel and mobile clinics at designated areas throughout the event. If you feel unwell or you notice someone that requires medical attention, kindly alert the nearest official around you and we will inform our emergency officers who will respond immediately. Emergency responders are strategically located at all entry and exit points. We are putting on white beads to recognize them. Kindly identify the nearest exit, emergency exit close to you. Our emergency exits are the left points there. In the likely event of an emergency, please remain calm, follow the advice and directives of the event officials. Should an evacuation become necessary, please do not rush or push. Follow the advice of the event officials and they will take you to direct you to designated assembly points. We encourage everyone to keep the aisles, the walkways, and the emergency exits free from all obstructions at all times, please. Please keep your personal belongings secure. Ensure your mobile devices are kept on silence all throughout these proceedings. Finally, we ask for your cooperation by following all the instructions from the event organizers, security organizers, and emergency responders whenever necessary. With your support and cooperation, we are confident that today's summit will be safe, productive, and successful. Thank you all for your attention. I wish you all a rewarding and memorable Delta State Economic and Investment Summit for 2026. Thank you.
Please appreciate Dr. Apowaye for leading us into a safe and productive environment. It is my joy and my honor to bring up on stage a man who has spent over 4 decades proving that Delta State is beyond producing oil and gas, but also to build companies based on it. He's a son of Ndokwa land right here in Delta, started his education right here in Delta before he went to the University of Nigeria in Nsukka to graduate top of his class in geology. Started his career in 1980 as a well site geologist with NNPC, grew his career to found Platform Petroleum in 2002, one of Nigeria's 24 marginal field awardees to actually bring its field into production, and of course that field is situated right here in Delta State. By 2010, he went on to co-found Seplat Petroleum and served as its pioneer chief executive officer. He is built into Nigeria's preeminent indigenous oil and gas independent, achieving the great feats of dual listing on the Nigerian Stock Exchange and the London Stock Exchange. Today, he serves as founder and executive chairman of the AA Holdings and sits on the board of the NNPC by presidential appointment. Colleagues who know him and have worked with him say he is methodical and meticulous, and he has brought these traits to serve as the chairman of the summit. Please welcome for his remarks our chairman today, Engineer Austin Avon.
Your Excellency, the Vice President, Federal Republic of Nigeria, Your Excellency, the Governor of Delta State and Chief Host, Your Excellency, the Governor of Anambra State, and all distinguished ladies and gentlemen here present. What I will try to do is to situate this summit in the right context and to try to establish that this is not just another talk show. This is the beginning of a new movement in Delta State. Let me start with a few fundamentals. Around the world, hydrocarbon-rich countries are consciously rebuilding their economies to achieve prosperity after oil. They're using oil, revenues from oil, to build a future economy that will be prosperous even after oil. And this is because oil and gas, 40 years of oil and gas production in the North Sea, has built a sovereign wealth fund that is approaching $3 trillion. All the Arab oil producing countries, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, UAE, are doing exactly the same thing. The lesson here is that even here in Nigeria, hydrocarbon-rich states must take lessons from what these countries have done. Subnationals going forward must now intentionally and consciously move beyond dependence on the center. We have to consciously build a subnational economy based on the niche areas of competitive advantage that we have. We have to provide the environment to attract massive and sustained private sector investments through deliberate, well thought out programs that create relative ease of doing business. Let me just highlight a few focus areas here in Delta State. Maritime commerce. As the Secretary to the State Government pointed out, we have 4 ports: Warri, Sapele, Koko, and Brutu. 2 interconnected airports. And by design, an interconnecting express road from Warri through Kwale to Asaba that not only connects the 2 airports, but connects our ports to markets. So what are the enablers to ensure that we benefit the most from these maritime endowments? We will have to dredge the waterways, Escravos, Warri and Benin rivers, to allow bigger vessels into these ports. It sounds very simple, but if you do this, the traffic into each of these 4 ports and across the state will more than quadruple. The road infrastructure connecting these areas, these key areas, must come under continuous maintenance. Continuous maintenance. If the roads become unusable, these assets will start to waste. Agriculture. We have avenues for aquaculture, ranching, large-scale cassava production, and oil palm. But what do we really need to do as a state to enable this? The state will have to build land banks
land banks in different clusters. If we have 30,000 hectares of land acquired by the state and made available to investors, it becomes easier for anyone, critical investors in the oil palm space, to come in and lease swaths of these land banks, 3,000 hectares, 5,000 hectares, and before you know it, Delta State becomes a critical producer of oil palm, both for domestic consumption and for exports. But these land banks have to be acquired and made available by the state. It will be the same thing for large-scale cassava cultivation, not just for consumption, but for the production of ethanol. So these are steps to ensure that the things we have, our niche areas of competitive advantage, are exploited to build in massive private sector investment. The last one I will talk about is industrial development. We have an industrial park in Kwale. As we speak, we have made pipeline gas available within that park. Once we have anchor tenants, major anchor tenants into the park, it becomes easy to put in embedded power. We don't even need to connect to the grid. Embedded power in modules of 5 megawatts. And once you have electricity and you have pipe gas available in an industrial park, the rest is easy for the private sector to come in and invest massively. We have an additional industrial park in Cocoa. In addition to pipeline gas being close by, Cocoa itself is a port. So we can also have food processing centers and agricultural centers once these enablers that I've just mentioned are made available. So what will His Excellency the Governor focus on going forward? He has spent most of his first term providing critical infrastructure to take off. The Secretary to the state government alludes that the state is very prosperous. No, we are just taking off. So what are the key enablers that His Excellency will focus on? We can't get any of these things done without security. His Excellency will have to invest heavily on security. This state must be to live, work, and prosper. A new security architecture built on technology and intelligence will have to replace this disruptive and largely ineffective checkpoints that we have. We have to move beyond that. Sometimes I give the example of Kigali, Rwanda. You hardly know that there are policemen around. But at every street corner, there's somebody talking into a small microphone. It will be clear to you that if you commit a crime, you're only 100 meters away from the next person that will catch you. There are no checkpoints. The infrastructure going forward will have to be targeted. We're not just going to be building roads, connecting villages and towns of well-known people. That's okay. But I'm saying the roads to be built and maintained, we have to seize these clusters that I've spoken about and make sure that movements of goods becomes unimpeded. His Excellency, we have to devote time to producing healthy, well-educated manpower, which means healthcare, education was emphasized. In the end, when we focus on these enablers, we must have a one-stop shop, very professionally run one-stop shop, where investors can knock, pick up all the information they need, Go back, whether you're applying for swaths of land or whatever it is, you have a one-stop shop where you get attended to professionally, and you come back into a safe state and invest. That is where His Excellency, the Governor of Delta State, will focus his second term, so that by the time he leaves, we'll all be able to live, work, and prosper in Delta State. Thank you.
I think it is also going to be with us. It is been Mr. Austin Avila, a geologist by training. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I have a singular honor and privilege to invite for his speech the pilot in charge of this flight. Since awarded, he has aggressively signed the signature across the length and breadth of the state, both in infrastructure and human capital development. His passion is geared towards the non-oil and gas sector in growing the economy, creating an enabling environment for tourism, agriculture, sports, entertainment, micro, small, and medium enterprises to thrive. To widows and orphans, he has given hope in place of despair. To our youth, he has given them tools instead of excuses. To the workforce, a conducive atmosphere to work instead of tension. And now to the private sector, opportunities to tap into the potentials of the state seamlessly without stress. He is God-fearing, prudent, bold, transparent, focused, and sincere. Your Excellencies, it will interest you to know that while he was Mr. Speaker of the Delta State House of Assembly, he returned the sum of 500 million naira, that is $500 million naira, back to the treasury of unutilized funds at the end of the fiscal year. And as Mr. Governor, he hasn't borrowed a dime from anyone, dead or alive. Yet, his projects are seen from mainland to the coast. A devout Christian, he still functions as an usher in the church. Please join me in welcoming His Excellency, Honorable Elder Sharif, the Governor of Delta State. There is no